I am Razim, and this is E3 2018. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. Yesterday, the last of the major press conferences were done. However, now we get a closer look at what's at some of the games coming up. And here it goes.
Everyone to Twitch, or to E3 on Twitch here. Everyone, this is the Intel Show Open. I am Kelly Link, joined by Okadrian, Rachel, and Ezekiel the Third. I was gonna say E3 or Twitch on E3, and that doesn't make sense.
No, it's E3 on Twitch, for sure. That's the hashtag.
Twitch is doing coverage on E3.
Yes.
I guess that works.
There's a hashtag.
What?
You didn't know about the hashtag?
Yikes.
It's like day 4 for us, man.
Well, that's probably why I don't know.
It
been
is
a long
day
week.
4. Guys, we're most of the way done. We got 2 days left. We're gonna look at today. But I wanna take a look back first at the last 3 days and what we've seen so far. Do you guys have a favorite conference overall now that we've seen all of them, including Nintendo's from yesterday? Okadrian?
Favorite conference, I would probably say Ubisoft.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think they really nailed it. I think they got everything out that they need to discuss. I mean, every other conference, I felt like I saw what I thought I was going to see, except for Square Enix.
What about? So you were expecting Andrew WK
Yeah,
for what?
yeah.
All right.
I'm surprised we did. I was expected. And then Division 2 news, like, I didn't play a lot of Division 1 at all. But I like the opening and the apology and willing to recognize the things they did incorrect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sure.
Being genuine to their
Yeah.
audience, being open with them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important. You need to have that kind of transparency in order to win back the audience that says, I don't want to play your game. I don't want to be around you. That's important.
Yeah, no, it's brave of them to do that. There's a lot of, I thought, brave stuff in Ubisoft because kind of every game took its own, universe and brought it to the stage. And so everything was sort of like a different small little conference on its own. And they had so much joy. We were talking to Ubisoft yesterday as they were coming through the studio. And it was just so much fun to open with the marching band and to have the celebrities there. Joseph Gordon-Levitt always wins the day for me.
Right.
That dude's so great, man.
Call me.
Anything he does.
What about you, Zeke?
Devolver.
Yeah?
Yeah. I love that stuff, man. It's definitely the most entertaining thing to watch. Sure, there's hype. Like, I got hype for games and stuff, but the most fun and entertaining conference by far was Devolver.
And it turned into RoboCop.
And yeah,
Also, like a year-long cliffhanger now that we have to wait for. See you next year. What?
I actually was talking to Nigel when he came down yesterday about that, and I said, like, dude, it was so cool leaving on a cliffhanger. He's like, yeah, we don't know what we're gonna do. He has no idea.
Spoilers.
It's very like a Lost ending. It's like, we'll just end it here, and then we'll figure it out later. Like how we're gonna.
I have faith.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Ultimate faith.
But if you're talking about games, it'd be tough. It'd be tough. Sony,
Yeah?
probably. Yeah.
I
I
think.
mean, Microsoft brought it better than they have in years, but as far as what games I'm super excited about,
Okay.
Sony presented all the games that I'm like the top of the hype for
That's
me.
true. Microsoft was more of just a showcasing of everything that they're going to be bringing, maybe not
Yeah.
so much exclusive titles. Although they did have exclusive titles, it was more of kind of what Sony did last year.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I'm not talking about the actual conference itself because that Sony conference was jarring and it was stuttery and it was just like it didn't seem like thrown together well. But the announcements in and of themselves, those were good.
What was the best announcement out of the Sony press?
Well, Sekiro.
Yeah?
Oh, I thought it was going to say Last of Us.
Last of Us 2 is not an announcement, though.
Oh, you're
I
right,
had
you're
to
right,
stop
you're right,
myself.
you're right.
What was my favorite thing to see?
technicality. Okay.
Last of Us 2, of course, by far.
What a beautiful
but
view.
announcement of a new game, Sekiro, looks awesome.
Did you guys have a favorite game specifically in any of the announcements? A game that you've been waiting for?
Satisfactory.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love big, like, I feel like when those big AAA, when Last of Us comes out, I watch Zeke play. I watch streamers on Twitch play a lot of these big budget games because I don't do so good and it takes me a long time. But Satisfactory, a game like that where I can sit down and sort of build my own little world on my own pace, especially playing with you guys, having another, ecology, building game together.
Totally.
I'm down.
I like any sim game. I like wasting time mindlessly. I don't want to think too much, but then have moments and pockets of thinking.
Okay.
So games like Satisfactory.
Hey.
Games like 2 Point Hospital. Games like Anno 1800. Like those are my kind of games. The kind of games where I wake up fresh and early at 9 p.m. and I'm ready to play some video games, and I just want to go in there and play some 2 Point Hospital. I played Theme Hospital forever.
I second the 2 Point Hospital. That game looks fun.
And I understand the jokes, and they're small, like turtle head, haha, poop jokes, and I'm like, yeah, high five, me too.
Yeah.
But like the gameplay's fun.
Yeah.
Turtle head.
I want to know the progress of it.
I'm learning right now. I was like, oh, I thought he just had a turtles.
Yeah.
It's coming to me. I'm seeing it now.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not. Seeing it now.
No, it's a mental picture right there. I get it. I'm a little slow to the joke, but we're all on board today.
It's a good start. This is
Kelly,
a good
what did
start
you
to the day.
like?
I was the one who drank all night last night, not you guys. I thought you guys.
I'm
You guys are supposed to be like.
Speaking of which, this is the Twitch show open, brought to
Yep.
you by Intel. So let's talk a little bit about the Twitch party. Well, how was it last night?
How was it?
Oh, it was a blast.
Yeah?
My boy Graham Kraft was on the DJ in the DJ booth, and he was killing it all night with that wild hair and those glasses. He's all style.
Playing
He's just
some Enter the
great.
Gungeon songs.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Probably, I'd imagine. But it was a lot of fun. They had the big open areas where you could talk and stuff, so it wasn't like
That's so important.
all flooded with music. It was you could be in the music area or you could be in the area to talk. And I saw some really cool people that I haven't seen in a year or so. My boy We Love Games all the way out from Russia. What up?
Oh, cool.
I've known him for a while, but only got a chance to meet him at Gamescom, and then he was here. I didn't even know he was. So
Oh, that's awesome.
it was cool. And of course, Day 9 got to hang out with him for a little bit, and he's always just a ball of joy.
Host of the PC Gamescom.
And a phenomenal host.
Great
What a
host.
great way to handle a tech issue like that, right?
Oh my gosh, everyone remembers the moment. It was all over the internet after the PC Game Conference where one of the developers' microphones went out, and so Sean was like, "Speak into my tie."
It was so good. Like, what a great way to handle it and to make it just like a funny thing to laugh at instead of something to kind of cringe at, right?
Yeah.
What a pro.
That's the
Absolute
gift of
pro.
Day 9.
And
My card was upside down.
speaking of
I
issues,
had it like this the whole time, and
That was an
one of the
Easter egg for
production
the viewers.
brings it over and just goes.
Had fun last
turns
night at
it over.
party. Don't remember much what happened.
Yeah.
what about the Fortnite stream yesterday? Did any of you guys get to catch any of that?
I listened to it when DJ Wheat. Shout out to DJ Wheat since we're doing shout outs.
Sure. Yeah.
And I was listening to him watch him play. Well, not play it, but watch the tournament a little bit. And I don't even play a lot of Fortnite. And I was kind of hyped to watch it.
It was crazy. Just like the viewership alone over all these esports like events and shows and conferences that have been happening for the last 10 years has higher viewership than it. Like it's been out for half a year now.
Well, they streamed it on almost, I think every streamer that was participating, and there were a lot of streamers participating, also streamed on their own channel. So
Yeah.
the main Twitch stream was huge, and then every individual stream was huge. Like every community kind of got together and cheered on their favorite player. So that was awesome. And we were talking about great hosts. Golden Boy, I love watching you do anything, but
You are
just,
great.
Like, Fortnite is an interesting game because there's lots of action and no action, and it's fun to listen to them, and I thought the whole broadcast team did a great job, too.
Yeah, I mean the whole setup was insane. 3,000 people watching live, and they had like dance cams, like you would have sports cams, kiss cams and stuff. It was just really cool to see how esports that aren't the traditional esports that we're used to can kind of evolve and reach a new audience.
Yeah, I mean, Fortnite, when they announced all the money that they're going to be putting into their competitive gaming thing, said it's not just for the pros. We're trying to access every type of player that we have. And I think that's fantastic. They came out on Switch yesterday. We saw that at the Nintendo conference.
Yep.
So putting their game in everybody's hand. It's on mobile. Cool, Fortnite. You
Yep.
did good stuff.
You can play it on PC. You can play it on Switch. You can play it on Xbox with your friends. You can play it on PlayStation by yourself
Oh.
if you want to.
Can I vent?
Can you vent?
Go for it.
Vent,
Of
vent
course,
it.
man. Please.
Where are the handhelds? Right? Like, where is all the handheld gaming? Where's PlayStation Vita? Where is 3DS? And I know the answer's gonna be mobile and Switch, and I get it, but where's the counterpart to Switch? Where's Microsoft having an endeavor in this race? Where's Sony switching gears and saying, you know what, the Vita's not working for us? Where's our version of it? Because I don't want to play mobile games. I already do enough on my phone. I'm not.
Yeah, that's the
I'm not
thing.
dealing
I
with
don't
all
really
that.
care.
The
for mobile
Sony-
gaming
the
that much. I mean,
PlayStation
Switch
Vita
is
is
the
just
perfect
dead.
size for me. It's like a big enough screen that I can actually kind of understand what all of it's going on, and the
stick to
controls
chat.
work really well. Anytime I use a DS or something, I kind of like get like a headache while I do it. And I don't know why mobile games are different.
Yeah.
I think it's the fidelity of the screens and stuff, which is, again, speaks to how great Switch is, that I play mobile games on Switch. For example, Pokemon Quest is a game that's meant for, iOS, Android, but it's not out yet, so I can only play it from the Nintendo eStore, and it's beautiful. The graphics are wonderful. The interface is really simple. So you're actually, I'm with you, man.
I was watching you play it. It looks sick.
Well, it's a sick game. You guys should check it out.
Yeah,
it's
'cause
free right now
Pokemon.
on the eStore. But the functionality, I really enjoy mobile games. I like quick little 5-minute games. That's what I was kind of saying for Windows 10, that there's not a lot of desktop games anymore. Like, where's the next Minesweeper?
There's a lot of updates,
Show me
though.
Solitaire 2.0.
Well, you know why those were
'Cause I'm
created.
working and I want to play at the same time.
Those games were created to
To
teach people how to use it.
But we have all these new consoles where we need to teach people how to use them again. So where are the short little games that kind of show my parents how to use the Switch?
That's cute. Well, the Nintendo Switch, like the WarioWare game that they came out.
Man, I love WarioWare.
Me too. Where is it, by the way? But the other one, the 1-2 Switch game, right? That was kind of like a teach how to use it deal.
I know of it.
Okay.
I don't know
They
it.
didn't quite incentivize it for the gamer.
I saw you look at Zeke and he was like,
No, anyway.
What about like the Dabo? What was it called?
Labo?
Labo.
The cardboard thing?
Is it not?
The Dabo?
Is it not Labo?
I did it.
immediately.
Labo?
Is it not?
Labo.
It's the
Labo?
Nintendo Lab. Is it not Labo? Not Labo? I don't know.
I'm from
let
New
us know.
Jersey. I just say
Let us
things
know
weird.
how wrong we are. So we got to talk about what we got to see already. But today we have a lot more interviews coming up. Is there anything that you guys are excited for in particular, Zeke?
Yes, in fact, I wrote it down. I'm excited to see all the new indie games that get a little bit extra time in the spotlight. Maybe they flashed on the screen during a conference. Get to go a little bit more in depth with that. I've got Noita. I'm not even sure if that's how you say it, but it's Noita. I'm excited to see more about that.
Hey.
And Call of Cthulhu, the game,
Yeah.
Not the streamer?
not the streamer.
Shout outs.
Yep. Shout outs again.
Shout-outs, of course.
Shout outs again. But yeah, Call of Cthulhu. We're gonna see a little bit more about Rage 2, or at least this is my schedule. But yeah, I'm excited to see all the stuff that maybe didn't get extra screen time that they deserve.
Rachel?
Kelly, we're doing 2 today, and I'm so excited because not only are we doing Spyro, and Spyro was, I think for both of us, like the first console games we played.
that
PlayStation
and
1
Tomb
was
Raider.
my first.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and Monster Rancher 2 for me.
Well, you know.
But Spyro, we're gonna hit them up today. I'm so excited to see what that game has become. And then my hero, I don't know
One's
if you guys
Justice.
are fan of this, but it's an incredible anime, Boku no Hero. You might be watching it, you might be reading it, but now we're gonna get to play it.
Where we might be a little bit of anime nerds.
Nerds.
Kelly and I might go a little extra
It's
mile
only
on that
15
segment,
minutes.
so.
Actually, it's 30 minutes because then I have Dragon Ball Fighters. So only half an hour of anime geeking out, and then you guys can come back and watch more, video games.
Get those Vohios in chat. Let's see them.
Kadrian, what are you looking forward to?
Probably, I'm on the Zeke fence. I like my indie titles, right? So seeing a game like Ashen, I want to know more about that. And I get a chance to be on there and discover more about that. NeoCab, definitely,
yeah.
looks really, really good. I want to see some more details about that for sure. And Dragon Ball Fighters, which we're covering. Shout outs to anime.
Are you going to be on the NeoCab segment?
I am.
Can you find out how and why it's different but coming out the same time as Nightcall? Is this like Ants a Bug's Life sort of situation? Or like,
Right.
I'm gonna steal that line too and use
yep.
it.
Good
Cheers.
comparison. It's really good.
A Bug's Life, still
You know what?
relevant, 2018.
Let's end it on that note right there. Everyone, thank you guys for joining us for the Intel Show Open here. Do not go anywhere, of course. We're going to be looking at Crash Bandicoot first, coming up soon.
Do you really wanna love me that like you say you do? Give it to me like you say you do. Cause it's warm enough for ya.
Incendiary out.
Did I seriously get that dude in smoke?
Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Welcome back, everyone, to E3 on Twitch. Day 4, I am Kelly Ling, joined by DJ Tech Live, and we have Jen O'Neill here, going to be showing us Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy.
That's right.
Okay, I mean, this is something that fans have been waiting for so long. Crash Bandicoot is one of the first console games that I ever owned on the PlayStation 1.
Absolutely.
The Tiger level where you just race down the path and jump and dodge, like that is, I would play that just for hours and hours and hours without even trying to play the other levels.
Yeah.
It's one of those games where you have to find like every secret location, to get all the Ubuka, you know? So I love it. It's definitely something, when I saw it the first time, I was like, I have to have it. So,
Oh, cool.
yes,
How was your
absolutely.
experience? Did you have to play your Tiger level over and over again?
Well, it's yeah. I mean, it was a lot of fun, but I was also like 9 or something, so it might not have been the easiest game for me.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
I got it on PlayStation, and it was a rough revisit because I was like, this is a lot harder than I remember. You know, maybe I had more
It's a
patience.
good time. It's challenging. You
Oh,
know?
yeah. Nah,
Well,
but it's-
I brought you guys a little present. It's
Oh, okay.
microblogs. You know, you'll have to share. You can put it
Oh,
together.
nice.
You know.
We can
Thank
build
you.
it together.
Yes, we'll build together.
Oh, this is awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no
Thank you.
problem.
So what we're particularly going to be looking at, because the Insane Trilogy is already out, correct?
It sure is. It sure
Right.
is. It's out already on PS4, but on June 29th, it's going to be coming out on Switch for you PC players. It'll be coming out on Steam and also on Xbox One, and it looks incredible. So
Yeah.
I think you probably have some B-roll or something to look at.
Well,
So,
hopefully
yeah,
we'll take a
some
look at that
gameplay.
right now while we're
Yeah.
talking about the game. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's, a PlayStation classic, but coming to all the other consoles, becoming accessible, especially with something like the Switch, which I take with me everywhere I
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
It makes so much sense. And look at it. Oh, it's such a beautiful game now.
It runs so
Awesome.
smooth. It's gorgeous. I like the textures and everything.
Thank you. Well,
that-
what you're looking at here is actually our brand new level, Future
Oh.
Tense. This is the first time ever there's been a new level added to the trilogy, and this is all created from scratch by Vicarious Visions. We took a lot of our lessons learned from working on the trilogy, and applied it to this brand new level. So what you see here is we used kind of the look of the future levels that you see in Warped, but added some new hazards. So you see a little water wheel there that was inspired from a cut level called the waterfall level. So it's a really cool level. Challenging, super challenging, but still lots of stuff to do for all kinds of play styles. So you can explore, you can look around, you can die a lot.
Yeah, that'll probably be me because I'm like,
And
how
that's
is this
okay.
person
That's
not
how this
doing
game
this?
is, right?
How will
Whoop,
players
there you go.
get this level?
How all players got this level? So it comes in all the games that are out on June 29th. So all the new releases that are coming out on June 29th. If you were an early adopter on PS4, you can download it in the PS4 store. You can basically get it there for free.
Awesome.
This was kind of like basically our gift to our fans. You know, we were just so pleased with the response, and we felt it was necessary if we were going to, come back out here again this year that we had something special and new to offer. So we're so grateful for the support that we've gotten over the year.
Yeah, definitely. Is this now something that fans can expect that you guys will maybe be releasing a new level in the future as well?
Well, can't talk about that right now.
Okay.
I'm talking about what we've got here today, but I think it's great that there's such enthusiasm for this game, for this franchise, and who knows what the future holds.
Well, I even remember playing like the older one like a few years ago before the new trilogy came out, and it really is just like a timeless game. The platforming, and especially something like Crash Bandicoot, which is this bright, colorful character, the fans have just been waiting for it to be remade.
Yeah, certainly. And I think what's really great is to be able to take advantage of all that these new platforms have to offer. And so that's why this is so beautiful. On Xbox One, if you play it on Xbox One X with a 4K TV, it's just absolutely beautiful. You've got the 4K and HDR. It's really something to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, being able to take this on the go, I was laughing to myself because I was just telling you, earlier how I played it in front of a community and they love it. They're just seeing when are you gonna hit the barrel, and now taking it on the go. On the planes, I don't try not to be too loud, but I can see
right?
myself screaming.
I'm looking forward to that, seeing people play their Switches on the plane. It's definitely going to be a funny thing to hear the yelling.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, Crash Bandicoot it was released, I would guess, 20 years ago?
Yeah, over 20 years ago.
So
Yeah,
is
it was the 20th anniversary, I think, when we came out. We did a Skylanders section, and then the next year we came out with this.
So was
yeah.
it the Skylanders that showed that you guys the community was wanting it? That was really what pushed it to be remade?
There was really great response to that, and so actually, I mean, we had a feeling that things were going to go in our favor in terms of. Like, hey, there's certainly a lot of talking out there for people wanting us to bring it back, but certainly it showed that there's a lot of interest. So, absolutely, it was and it's ridiculously fun to work on too.
Well, tell me about some of the difficulties though you faced trying to create an older game with such simplistic but also difficult gameplay.
Oh well, I mean, the thing is, one of the things that we wanted to be careful of is that, hey, we want to make sure that we're appealing to the original fans, but we also have to understand that, the modern gamer may not have that kind of patience. so we added a few, we call it quality of life improvements to the game to make it, a bit more comfortable to play. So, for example, if you die a few times, we added like a dynamic difficulty system so that you get some more checkpoints that are a little more forgiving earlier on. We add an Aku mask a little bit earlier on, so you're not just punished the whole time. So,
is there a way though, if the hardcore players do not want to have that kind of help and assist, can they change it to hard mode?
Well, they basically just
don't die.
And eventually, once they pass the level, it goes back to what it was.
Okay.
So, yeah, so they can continue to challenge themselves. And then, of course, you have speed runs. Even the new level has the speed runs. I'm really excited to see how players are going to tackle our new level and post their times. So that'll be cool to see.
Yeah, everyone gets to be creative of how they pass through a level.
Yeah.
So now it's remastered. What else went into it? I mean, the graphics look great.
Yeah.
Did you guys do any tweaks to the levels to adapt it to nowadays versus what it was back then?
Not so much. We really tried to stay as true to the originals as possible. So we had the early level data, the geometry, and so we were able to figure out the metrics to make sure that, okay, this is exactly how this level fit together. So, we just really wanted to make sure that we were true to the original as much as possible.
That's very good. It's important.
And where can people find more information about Crash Bandicoot and where to if there's going to be new levels coming out, possibly maybe in the future, of course? Where can they is there people that can test out these levels?
Well, I mean, it's only 2 weeks away, so I think they can, as far as anything other than this. I mean, essentially in 2 weeks, June 29th, you'll be able to take a look at future tense. If you really want to challenge yourself, we also released another level that was cut a while ago, Stormy Ascent. And for those of you on PlayStation who want it, if you haven't gotten it yet, it's going to be free on Friday. So
Stormy Ascent.
Yeah, Stormy Ascent's going to be free on Friday, so check that out. And I guess CrashBandicoot.com is probably a good place to go. We also have a Twitter site, so you can check that out.
Well, tell me a little bit more about Stormy Ascent. Why was it taken out of the original trilogy and now put back in now?
Well, I think if you were to play it, you would know. It is very, very hard. I rank it as 10 controller throws to the TV. It is that hard. But, I mean, the funny thing is there is a group of players who really want to have that level of challenge, that just extreme difficulty, and it certainly offers that. But you want to build up your collection of Crash lives before you tackle that one. It's pretty tough.
Now, are we seeing any new? Because in all these games are being remade. Sometimes we'll get skins or character outfits for them. Is there anything like that we can expect in this new trilogy?
Not so much. One of the things that we introduced the last round, which I think got a lot of nice attention, was that we made Coco playable. So
So she was only playable in the Tiger level in the first one.
Exactly. Yeah. And so now she's playable throughout the entire trilogy. So I think if you want to see how sassy Coco is in all the levels. She's got her own idols, and she's just super adorable. So she's a fun character to play with. That's the first thing I do when I go in is I switch to Coco and then play.
Is she mechanically similar to Crash, though?
Mechanically similar. You know, we didn't want to have people have to learn a whole new set of moves, etc. You know, but she's, again, it's all about the charm and the character. So she's definitely fun to check out and kind of discover how she acts during certain situations, how she dies. You gotta have, like, you know, good death animations.
Well, it's Crash Bandicoot.
Right.
That's the best part.
Because you're gonna be dying a lot. Let's just face it.
That is true. Do you guys have any achievements or anything like that?
Oh, certainly, yes.
Okay.
I mean, same set of achievements that we had in the past.
Okay, cool.
But, you know, definitely something you want to check out for those of you who want to continue to challenge yourself. That's there for you.
Yeah, I'm a completionist. I have to.
Yeah.
No matter how many times it takes to go for a level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Jen, thank you so much for joining us here on E3 on Twitch. It's been a pleasure looking at the Insane Trilogy for Crash Bandicoot coming out for Switch, Xbox, and PC June.
June 29th, yep.
With a new level, which is called
Future Tense.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. And
Thank
to
you.
everyone watching, thank you guys for joining us. But don't go anywhere because we're going to be having more games coming up next.
Incendiary out.
Did I seriously get that dude in smoke?
Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Jurassic World Evolution. And it's out now on PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Everyone is talking about the biggest event of all times. Gather your companions for over 500 episodes of space operatic mystery. Starring...
Who are you?
I'm the Doctor. Doctor Who?
Don't you recognize me?
Time-traveling, shape-shifting fugitive alien from that one crazy planet with the blue police box. Oh, that Doctor Who.
Yes, indeed.
Watch classic Doctor Who on Twitch.
Black Ops, weapons free.
Let's do it live.
Guess who's back? It ain't a fucking question. They know the name out in the presence of a living legend. What you heard is murder, you will need protection. Blind to gun see, so if you need it, you give direction. You are now not in the presence of nice guys. Bravo secure. Pushing on me.
Every shot counts.
Enemy strike team deployed. Building barricade. Gunship overhead. Bring down the hammer.
Copy that, Hunt 1-3.
One shot if you ain't ready to die. Never get it up. I got shooters for hire. Cause you don't want it.
Marking targets.
Better back the back. All done, so I ain't trying.
Sensor going live.
I know you heard me. Feel like I'm going crazy. Smoking murder.
Heels coming.
Eat this.
You are now not in the presence of Lace
Pre-order now and get access to the private beta.
Hey everybody, welcome back to E3. I've got DJ Tech Live down at the end, and between us is Miles, a producer from Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Now, this is a game I'm excited every time it comes out because I love all the updates you do. I love the exciting stuff that you bring to the combat experience online. But give us a little top down on what you're bringing to us in Black Ops 4.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. For Black Ops 4, it's all about crafting an experience for all different playstyles. We really wanted to add, we'll talk about MP first. We wanted to add more depth to the game. So it's a tactical, grounded, gritty game, and the layers, it's like the biggest cake you ever had. There's layers and layers of cake that you can, if you want to dive in,
delicious cake.
You're gonna be rewarded by finding that sort of like how you want to play. We've got the specialists that add that. The weapons have their own personality. Revamped all the weapon stuff. There's just a lot there. Next is zombies. The biggest offering on day one is the huge thing there. Is we're giving back to the community with the zombies. With this is 3 unique experiences day one. Brand new cast of characters, brand new storylines, and then that's not all. Brand new Battle Royale, Blackout.
Boom.
Brand new experience.
There you go. You wanted it, you got it.
That's right.
But I can't think of a more fun, Call of Duty is one of those games that I've been playing for years. Like, I sit down, I'm immediately familiar with it. It's really comfortable, and I'm really excited that you guys have added a Battle Royale mode because it's a game that I feel confident playing as an FPS, so let me try this new game mode.
Exactly. The funny thing is like, regular Call of Duty mode, the death matches and stuff, I'm not so good in. I can admit it. It's like, and I always like, I can't see right. It's a small area. But now that you have Battle Royale, that's something I'm very familiar with, and I was just like, okay. Well then, day one purchase, right there.
And you get zombies from day one.
And zombies, right.
It's awesome for us because we're fans of all games, we're fans of genres, right? And Battle Royale's been blowing up, and right, you see this, and as devs, you go, man, it'd be so cool if we could do something. But what I love about our team is that we really are not going to do something else we can make it uniquely ours, right? It has to stand on its own and feel like it's a Treyarch thing, like it's a Black Ops thing. If not, there's really no point doing it. And so we had this idea, and it really crystallized earlier this year. It was like, you know what? We can make it our own, and it's this sandbox of all fan favorite things thrown in together. So you're going to be able to scavenge, and you're going to find an old zombies weapon. You're going to find a BO1 weapon.
We're going to get a little throwback here.
Lots of throwbacks, right? And to us, that's what's going to be the differentiator from all the other games is they don't have this library. They don't have this legacy of, hey, you loved Nuketown? Well, Nuketown is in Blackout in a new and interesting way.
Interesting.
Little Russ, little
So
Nuketown.
about that, now you're getting into some grit here. Okay, so I leveled my character up, getting weapons and stuff. Is that character available for Blackout, or is it just a brand new
experience? It's like we're not talking about progression stuff just yet, like how they. But Blackout is its own experience. Great. And you talk about MP, where you're like, oh, I'm not the best at MP. Right. That's something actually we're trying to improve. Is like we have solo missions now that are going to teach you who the specialists are. And what they're about, like why is Ruin so angry all the time? We don't know, he's got to go to therapy. And why does he use the grab slam and why does he use the grapple gun? But at the same time, teach you how to use that specialist so you can be more successful in multiplayer. So it's dual. Hey, learn about the specialists that people love, and then also get better at MP, and that's exciting for us because it's like onboarding.
Yeah.
Hey, come with us. And then the specialists on top of that is we have a saying in the studio now is do your job with the specialists. And so people now are yelling at each other.
Over the open plan
Yeah, just
offense.
totally yelling, right? So if you're not, what we'd call a slayer or someone that gets a lot of kills, you have a role. We have a healer now. We've got support
great.
classes now.
That's great. 'Cause
We've got,
now I feel like I have a
exactly,
place.
absolutely.
You know?
And you might earn more score than the guy that's just killing, right? And it's really the emphasis on is supporting team using the specialists on the roles.
Wow.
Well, we've seen a lot of different FPS approach, like the class-based, selections differently. Where some games it's hardly important because you have so much customization for each individual character, and then some, for example, Overwatch, where you're choosing that set of weapons, that style of play. So, what customizability am I going to have if I choose, say, a medic class in Black Ops?
Yeah, there's still a lot there. So we talk about those layers. We can break down the sort of depth. Is you can. You still have create a class. You still got pick 10. Within that, you've got all the weapons, primary,
perks,
secondary, all the perks. But the unique thing with the weapons now is that we've really tried to make them their own, right? So before, all weapons, kind of like in a class, had the same attachments.
Right.
Now, certain weapons have unique attachments. So if you want to
per role?
Per gun.
Oh.
Yeah. So if you want to have, hey, I really like this attachment. You've got to go that gun. You got to commit to it. And the interesting thing there is now it's like I relate to my gun because it's me, right?
Yeah,
and
you put all that work in.
it's really personalized. So that adds to that customization. Every choice is meaningful, and we want the choices to be meaningful from before you get in the game to when you're in the game. When you're selecting a specialist, is who do I want to play? How do I want to support my team? And then there's just tons of decisions. Is what specialists do they have? Do I want to counter them? It's like there's a lot of meta and strategy now if you want to do that. If not, you can still be a lone wolf and be a badass if you want, but you're going to be more successful together.
That makes sense. Now, what about the people that are just godly at the game? They're playing your game since day one of release of the first one and all the way up till now. What are score streaks?
Oh yeah, we've got a lot of good score streaks coming back. With that, but you talk about the guys that are really good at the game. We've increased the health model. Right, so we have more health now than we've ever had before.
So a little less one-shotting, a little less surprise in how you're dying.
Absolutely, and so you talk about the lower-end casual fans.
So it gives us a chance to...
Absolutely, right, and it actually makes engagements more meaningful. Again, going back to that impact is... you feel, right, on either end, if I got killed, I don't feel like I got cheated, right? Because it was a longer engagement. But if I killed you, I felt like I had to work for it, and I felt like it's an achievement. So casual fans might get in engagement and get out because there's lots of tools to get out. Hardcore fans might be able to try to master some of the new weapon predictive recoil stuff we've got. So there's a high ceiling there. If players want to devote to it, they've got the option to do that.
Casual is a funny word because I consider myself that in Black Ops just because I want to be good. But I always get salty because there's that one player that's played day and night. He knows the spawns. He knows where I'm at. How did you guys counter this time that spawn camping guy that we all just want to tell them good words?
Yeah, absolutely.
Encouragement.
It's so nice.
When we develop the maps, you try to work around that, where so people can't trap you in each of the game modes as well. And there's a lot of variables too. That is, what are score streaks, what guns are in the air, what grenades by you. There's like a lot of behind the scenes just work going on. But on top of that, you've got Seraph now that she can put a spawn beacon down and you can spawn there.
Okay.
So
I like that.
So this guy's spawn camping you, or he's in your spawn, right? Hey, Seraph, put down a spawn beacon. Do your job. Get us out of here.
Yeah.
She can do that
You
and
have
get
one
you out of
job,
that, right? You have one job. That's exactly what's going on in the studio
That's
now.
what he's going to be saying on the mic. That's nice little Frank.
It's not even you and me. Like, hey, Frank. It's like you're not Frank anymore. If you're playing Torque, I'm like, Torque, go put that razor wire down. What are you doing, man?
Absolutely.
Get it together. So there's a lot of tools to help in those situations, and we've just done a lot to get rid of bad spawns and make engagements more meaningful.
Player choices.
And you talked
So
about the
important.
tools. I mean, you shouted out some cool ones right there. Can you give us some insight? I saw like a throwing axe.
Please explain the throwing axe.
Tell me the new ways to kill people.
There's lots of ways. So you got all the personified. I'm just watching you got all the different types of weapons. You've got all the specialist stuff, right? So like Ruin with the Grav Slam, Seraph with Annihilator as well. You've got the throwing hatchet as well that comes back for skill shots if you want that. You got different types of frag grenades. One of the new ones we have it's called a cluster. So you can throw it and it'll stick, and then it'll actually break into other small grenades, basically. And that's really great for like domination or hardpoint if you want to clear an area. And all those are choices. Like you don't even have to take grenades if you don't want, or you can sacrifice some of the specialist stuff. So there's a lot of ways to be successful and slaying players. But there's a lot of ways that you don't have to as well.
Sure,
right?
yeah.
You can be that
Herd them
support.
around,
yeah,
crowd control
absolutely.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Can you tell us about any of the kill streaks that we'll be seeing this time around? Anything innovative?
So we've got, it's interesting because like UAV, right? You've always had UAV, but it's interesting with the mini-map changes we've done Fog of War now is you only see around you now. You don't just get to see everywhere. So this encourages me.
That piques my interest.
This encourages me to like stick as a team, right? Because I can see around your bubble, and then even UAV and how that interacts is even fan favorites and things like UAV we'd had in the past are different now because they just interact with the world different.
That's my job. I just I can kill 2 people, 3 people, no problem.
We really want to make them more, meaningful and impactful, right? So when an attack chopper comes in, it means, you better get to cover, you better have a launcher, you better have something to take it out because this is going to kind of change the game.
I saw a pup. Are we still calling in dogs?
We do, yes. Yeah. So it's now tied. It's now tied to a specialist. So Nomad.
Not everyone can call in pups.
Ooh.
You gotta be a pup specialist.
That's
I know which
right.
role Kelly Link is playing.
Training our pups right now.
Yeah, so Nomad actually has a dog he can call in, and he can set it basically to guard mode, which will follow him, or he can set it and we'll go attack basically, which is really cool.
Oh my goodness. Now, Zombies is a huge, they have their own player base almost.
Yeah.
Can you go in a little bit more detail what you have to offer with Zombies now this time around?
Absolutely. It's bonkers. So the Zombies teams, those guys are insane. Jason Blundell and crew are insane.
Yeah, I had my first panic attack playing Call of Duty Zombies.
And, we got 3 big experiences day one, brand new cast. So we'll start with Voyage of Despair, right? Which, from the teaser, everyone can see that it's on the Titanic. Right. Really interesting, like different gameplay on the Titanic, close quarters. Next one is 9, right? You said in that Roman Coliseum, also very different types of experiences. And then you've got Blood of the Dead, right? Which is a remaster of Mob of the Dead, all on day one, returning cast. I would say more, but then Jason Blundell will turn me into a zombie. And I don't want that to happen at all.
Is there one that looks like you? That just sort of
I don't know.
That would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, I hope not. That would be scary.
Well, we're running out of time here. I just got one quick question. Esports, huge for
Yes.
Call of Duty. Is this going to be a game that's very easy to put time in to get better at and to make custom modes with your friends?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with the Esports Act, we want the game to be watchable, and the game that you see is the game that you can play. So if I go see someone do something super awesome, I want to go do that in the game. It's a 1-to-1, right? So we've reduced the player count 5 to 5 in MP to make it more tactical, to get that pacing, to match, make that esports and that layering that we talked about. So, hey, I go see Optic do something super awesome. I want to go do that in the game, get my buddy, let's go try to do it. There's a lot there with the watchability across the board, and customization. We're still going to have custom games and all that awesome stuff, so you can do whatever you need to do in off, custom mode.
Hit me with the quick deets. Website, launch date.
Launch day is October 12th. I think you can go CallOfDuty.com. It's super close.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Miles.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Frank. As
Thank
always,
you.
thank you guys for watching. We'll be right back. We got so many more games. Don't go anywhere.
In a bubble, you and me, reaching places that we've never been. We make each other feel at ease. That's why you and me the greatest team. You know I'm higher when I'm with you. I said I'm higher when I'm with you. You know I'm higher when I'm with you. I said I'm higher when I'm with you, with you. I'm higher for the big man. You know I'm higher when I'm with you. Higher when I'm with you. Higher when I'm with you. You know I'm higher when I'm with you. I said I'm higher when I'm with you, with you. higher for you, baby.
Welcome back, everyone, to E3 on Twitch. I am Kelly Link, joined by Rachel Cuerco, and we have Lewis here, and you're going to be showing us Spyro, the Reignited Trilogy.
That's right. Yeah, we've got Spyro Reignited. It's all 3 of the original PlayStation 1 games, fully remastered, and we're coming out in September.
We've already gushed about this.
Yeah, poor Lewis has been sitting here for the last couple of minutes listening to us be super excited.
But this is actually Rachel and I's like one of our first console games that we ever played, so this is near and dear to our hearts, and I can't wait to get into it. I'm so happy that I see Sparks there, and of course it's Spyro, and I believe it's the original voice actor from games 2 and 3?
That's correct. So we brought back Tom Kenny, who was Spyro in games 2 and 3, and what we did was we re-recorded all the audio with the original scripts, so that way we can have a unified Spyro, which is the fan favorite. We brought him back for everything, and it's really something to see because it just makes Spyro feel like that unified favorite character.
Totally.
It's awesome.
Well, is there any new lines recorded at all?
No, so what we've done, and you'll see it with the game, is that we wanted to make sure that the gameplay as you remember it is one-to-one. And so that means perfect parity on gameplay, perfect parity on story. The script itself is 100% the same way that it was, but what we've gone back and done is just amped up the visuals. We rebuilt this from the ground up to be just an amazing, beautiful experience. And what we are doing is that we're trying to find story in kind of extra places, in backstory and in environmental storytelling. So what you'll see here, this is the level Toasty that we're playing through, which is the first boss level of the Artisan's Homeworld. And in this area here, in the original game, it was just a plain hallway. And what we've done is we've reimagined it with the same geometry as an art gallery. And that's because the dragon that you're going to free in this level, his name's Nevin. In the original games, there were maybe 4 or 5 models of dragons that there were just texture swaps.
Yeah, just
and
different
so
colors.
what the team has done is actually reimagined all of these dragons to really fit in more to the story of the game and flesh that out. So it's the Artisan's Homeworld, so we said, why aren't all these dragons artisans?
Right.
And so Nevin himself, when we unlock him, you'll see he's actually a painter. And so the character model expresses that, and this hallway shows off some of his paintings.
Okay.
So we're going to meet Nevin now. And you'll actually see that we're keeping the story the same, we're keeping the script the same, but there's so much more character and life being brought
I love
by
it.
the fact that he's been reimagined as a painter. He's an artisan. And so as you go through the rest of these artisan worlds, you'll see things like that. So you'll see sculptors, you'll see musicians, there's even a barista dragon.
Oh, that's my dragon. That's my dragon.
That is the ultimate art form, if we're being honest.
I will
Making
agree with you,
coffee
sir.
is just the top tier.
Oh,
Yeah.
and we got the fairy. Is that Zoe or is that just a normal fairy?
So this is actually a great point, is that this is a save fairy. And so in the original PlayStation 1 games, you had to go in and opt in to save your game. And so some of the things that we're doing to modernize the game are these behind-the-scenes quality of life improvements.
Okay.
So auto-saving. It's things that modern gamers expect from their games that also isn't getting in the way of making this still feel like the original game. The other big one, and it's hilarious to think about, but PlayStation 1, this is a 20-year-old series, right? This is actually coming out for the 20th anniversary of Spyro. And
Oh, right.
played when it was 3, it was fine. There was no right analog stick. So the original games had camera control tied to the bumpers.
Right.
And so one of the first things we did was get the game functioning on the right analog stick, and it just feels so much more modern. It feels so much easier to control, but at the same time, people have built up muscle memory playing these games for a long time. So we're also including an option to revert to classic controls and use those bumpers for camera if you'd
Nice
like.
for the hardcore players.
That's right.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Another thing, of course, is Spyro and like the geometry. His face, he has so much more expressions. Did you guys redo the animations?
He looks like a little kitty cat now. Did you see him before? Like,
he
pouncing
pounces,
and laying
yeah.
around?
The Spyro model actually has 100 times the geometry of the original PlayStation 1 version of Spyro. And as I mentioned, everything from this is built from the ground up.
Right.
There was actually no code for us to build on top of. Everything is built from scratch, and we're actually doing so much work just comparing the original game with the new game, frame by frame, analyzing the layout of levels, analyzing everything to the finest detail, and that means how Spyro moves, how the enemies move. And so one of the things that we're doing, and you'll see it with these guys, is that while we're adding so much life and animation and so much character, we're making sure that their AI behaves the exact same way. And so everything that we're doing is just building on top of an already phenomenal game. It's not changing the way it plays.
It's like those movies where they build like some robot, like a new body, and he's like, oh, I have fingers now. Some things, you mentioned the camera angle that you had to kind of build up because it didn't exist early on.
Yeah.
Achievements. There were no achievements way back in the day either. Have you had fun going through and putting some in here?
Absolutely. It's been super fun. I mean, similarly to what we did for the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy, we've gone through, looked at all 3 of the games, figured out ways for fans to have so much fun discovering all these achievements. There's over 100 levels in the game.
Yeah.
And so there's just going to be so much fun for players to find out and explore as they play.
Yeah, it's huge, and achievements are always great at like bringing me to places that I wouldn't normally check out in a game. So it's so much more playability.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's been something for us to see is really 3 games, over 100 levels. There's over 400 characters for us to have to remake and remodel and reanimate, but it just has this life and it has this depth of play that is really cool to see.
Speaking of characters, Hunter the Cheetah, is he coming back?
Oh, absolutely. He's in. Yeah, he's actually one of my favorites.
He's one of my favorites
too. Yeah.
He was like the cool, goofy friend
That's
that always
right.
kind of got made fun of, but he didn't care. Also,
That's right,
Nasty Nork. However, when I was a child, I called him Ganasty
Ganasty
Gnork.
Gnork.
Ganasty
That's
Gnork.
right.
Yes!
That's
I
right.
thought it was
We were too young for silent
Oh,
G's.
no. It's actually in the game. There's a dragon who misstates it and says Ganasty Gnork.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy.
We've always said that playing this game gives us good nostalgia, and so it's been pretty good.
Oh, speaking of nostalgia, and I know I've
Yeah.
been so happy and delighted by this, but anger and frustration with that flying level. That's coming back too.
Oh,
We're making
absolutely.
Maintain that
the
as well.
same.
Oh yeah. We actually have at E3 some footage that we're showing of Sunny Flight, which is one of the first of those flight levels. And I'm not gonna lie, me and the folks from the team who are here for the show have been just trying to shave off tenths of a second and competing with each other.
Really?
Yeah, it's been
Who's in the
phenomenal.
lead?
I am, thankfully.
Nice.
Yes.
We got the champion
That's right.
Sunny
I'm gonna
Flight
rub it
flyer
into the
over
team
here.
here.
I do want to know
but
what
it's
is.
fun.
Have you changed any of the difficulty at all? Because I remember as a kid, like it was difficult, but I
Sure.
could beat it, and this is why it holds such a special
Sure.
place in my heart.
Honestly, it's something I think that we're still looking at, because some of those things that were those quality of life updates, like auto saving, like the camera control, sometimes do help in ways that you didn't
They
have
make
to
it
think about it.
almost too simple, maybe?
Not
Did you
necessarily
pump
too
it up
simple.
a little?
No, not necessarily too simple. You'll actually see we're showing off Treetops now, and Treetops to me is one of those really fun but really difficult levels in Spyro the Dragon, the first game. And one of the things that's kind of cool about Treetops, one of the reasons that it's difficult but also so unique, is that it really shows off what makes a Spyro game different than most other platforms. And it's all about feeling like a dragon, soaring through the sky, hitting those long glide jumps.
The glides.
Yeah, and so this is a level that we brought specifically to show that we do have this wide range of gameplay. That Toasty, being from the first homeworld, is pretty difficult.
The interaction with that treasure chest is
Yeah.
so cute.
Is that the same that it was in the previous game? That has to be new.
There may be some fun interactions and some new animations, but
Okay.
those treasure chests were in the original game.
Yeah,
too.
some you had to charge
Yeah.
and some you had to burn.
Yes, yeah.
And then, I mean, all these great levels, and you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about adding achievements that incentivizes me to try for all these jumps that maybe I actually wouldn't make and stuff. Are you kind of adding any of that, or are you just kind of building again on what was there and that discoverability?
So right now we are completely focused on just trying to get all 100
make
plus
it
of these
real,
levels
yeah.
done and complete. That being said, there are some of those things that should show up to you as fans of the game as potentially like Easter eggs, or potentially some embellishments that we've done to add to that storytelling, like that art gallery that Nevin has. So if you look at those pictures, there's actually paintings of additional levels of some of the other dragons.
that's really cool.
There's a self-portrait of Nevin, and so there's things that we've done to really enhance the space, to really build up the world, and to take what we saw as the original intention of these games that were held back by just old technology, and push that further than ever before.
I'm gonna go a little bit more hardcore here though. So my sister used to have a Spyro GeoCities back in 1999. I believe.
It was a hub.
It was GeoCities.
It was
Okay, just make
GeoCities.
sure.
It was
Okay.
GeoCities.
Yeah.
And she would help people, and she would do like speed runs and everything. And
Sure.
one of the things that she could do is there was a certain position where you could charge to a wall. It would shoot you up, and then you would fly. And that's how speedrunners would do it. Obviously, you didn't have the original
Sure,
code.
sure.
Those things are going to be gone.
So we're looking at each of those. I mean, obviously,
Really?
we are very, very aware of the speedrunning community, very aware of just hardcore fans. Obviously, there will be some changes to some of the things that may have been exploits or glitches based on the fact that this is rebuilt from the ground up. That being said, we are aware of what people have done with controllers, so we will see what ends up being there.
You touch on that, though, that you're aware of the speedrunner community. I'd love to hear that, and I think with these games, the challenge of remaking it is bringing all that inspiring, every part of the Spyro community kind of coming back together. Are there any other communities that you really feel like you guys examined, you really did right by here? I mean, speedrunning, streaming, original
honestly,
fans,
just
we're all here.
Everybody, honestly. It's been really great to see because we've got fans in the studio that are longtime fans. We've got people who are just speaking about the game online, about what they see, and we're listening to everything. I mean, we're listening to make sure that the fans, the original, are having so much fun, and then also making sure that, like I said, with those little modern quality of life improvements, that we're appealing to new players. Because honestly, Spyro is such a timeless character. It's such a timeless series.
I have said just that even before this came out. Like, I was like comparing old graphics of PlayStation games, and I'm like, even now the original is still playable. It's not like this, because it's so bright and colorful, and he's so lively that it like, I'm so happy that you guys brought it
set
back.
the bar so high.
It just feels so different than any other platformer because of that feeling of being a dragon, because of all of those wide spaces, this epic adventure, gliding through the skies. It's just what makes him so special.
Lou, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
Release date and consoles.
September 21st. Oh, that's right. I also brought a little mini block Spyro. I saw you got one for Crash.
I did.
So figure complete the set and bring Spyro.
Savage.
But yeah, we can share. September 21st, Xbox and PlayStation 4. Or Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of myself and Rachel, everyone, don't go anywhere. We have more coming up next.
Do you really wanna love me that like you say you do? Give it to me like you say you do. Cause it's home enough for ya.
Incendiary out.
Did I seriously get that dude in smoke?
Yo.
Oh my.
Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Hi, I'm Skylius, and I'm a science communicator here on Twitch.tv. I am so excited to be a part of the Doctor Who marathon that will be airing over the next few weeks. A lot of these topics come up in my own stream because we talk about astronomy, astrophysics, yes, even time travel. If you could travel in time, where would you go? There's so many wheres and whens. If you like these kind of topics, make sure to follow my stream. I look forward to seeing you in the future.
I'm gonna say no.
Can you feel it? The fire in your soul, leaping at the chance for love. Can you feel it? Haunting your senses, letting all your feelings go. But I I can feel it rushing through my veins. Your love's the only drug I know. But we've been playing the hand now with devil. We can light it up. I know that we can make it.
What up, everybody? Welcome back. Here we are live at the Twitch studios from E3 2018, and we're having a great time. And we're going to talk about some indies, my favorite. Kira's joining us. Hello, Kira. Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you.
And we have Ben.
Hi.
And Ben made a game.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
About donuts and holes, et cetera,
Excellent.
et cetera.
Yeah, the game's called Donut County, which is a wonderfully mysterious name. Because when I saw that in print, I was thinking it was like a game with cops.
Ooh,
Police
that's
officer,
really good.
yeah, like donuts and stuff, but
evocative.
Apparently it's not. It's a game about holes.
Yeah, so surprisingly, there's not too many donuts in the game. The real focus is the hole in the middle of the donut.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
The idea is that you play as a hole in the ground and you move it around. You start small, and every time you put something in, it gets a little bit bigger, and it's about destroying this place called Donut County.
So it's been kind of compared to Katamari. It's sort of the inverse of that. Instead of rolling a ball around, you're just like a hole and you just like suck everything into the hole.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
you're picking up all kinds of things, right?
Yeah, you are. So each level is kind of about a different person's house or where they live or where they work. And so this one, like that we're seeing right now, is like the ranger station. So you kind of start outside of Donut County and you're sucking up, you know, snakes and rocks and you're taking down the ranger station. But then you get closer and closer to the center of the city and you start sucking up buildings, et cetera, et cetera.
So I think, I was gonna say, I think that this game has a really interesting origin story. This started as you made this at a game jam. And for viewers out there that don't know what a game jam is, maybe you could give them a quick rundown.
Yeah, so basically it was like a weekend game jam, and the idea of a game jam is you have a theme and then you try to make a finished game in like 1 or 2 days, which is kind of, it's a ludicrous idea. And so that's why I was like so intrigued with the idea of, I'll just make a game where you're a hole in the ground. That'll take 5 seconds, no problem. And I'll just throw it away.
And now, how many years have you been working on this?
My God. I started in 2013, beginning of 2013. Wow. So I finished that game jam and I was like, you know what? There's something to this. Like, there's a game in here. And then I spent a couple years figuring that out.
Now, I have to ask, is there something about holes that fascinate you, or?
Is this some metaphor, like you're missing something in your life?
There's a rich tapestry of metaphors in this game, and I mean, everyone has that like kind of fascination with this kind of like mysterious unknown force of like seeing, you know, kind of a well or just like a sinkhole. There's something kind of just captivating about like being like returning to the earth and kind of getting swallowed up that way. So like when I see the hole in the ground and I see it moving around, like from the beginning of working on it, I was like, there's something like kind of elemental and like human about, you know, being like engaging with this like massive growing mystery.
I especially like the Matter Daddy in this. It's pretty great.
What is that? What are you talking
The
about?
Matter Daddy.
The Matter Daddy?
Matter Daddy?
Yeah.
What's a Matter Daddy?
Nothing's the matter, Daddy. What's the matter with you? There's a reason why I did that, by the way.
I walked
because of the Updog.
The Updog trailer?
The Updog trailer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you fell for it, though. I would have looked
into
stupid
it.
if I was just sitting here forever waiting for you to say, "What's the matter, Daddy?"
I walked into it because in the trailer we have, okay, so the game is about these raccoons who are opening up the holes, and they're real mean. And so the original trailer is one of the raccoons asking if they've heard Updog before. And the entire like theme of the game is about raccoons being jerks, which is extremely true to life. So I feel like I don't need to explain that very much.
Now, the raccoons we were talking backstage. Tell me about the Trashopedia.
Oh, yeah, the Trashopedia is, okay, after each level, you see there's like, you know, a set amount of things you can collect in that level. After each one, you can, oh yeah, I think we'll see it on the screen. Okay, so after each one, there's this thing called the Trashopedia, which is this app that raccoons can use to learn about what all the objects are in the game. And they're always extremely wrong about what everything is. And so the game is all about like, there's these characters who are getting sucked up by the hole and they're mad about it. And then there's the raccoons who are opening up the holes and they don't really care about anything.
I love this brand of humor. Like I was on last night, I was low-key stalking your Twitter account. It's hilarious. And to see that you brought this humor to this game as well is awesome.
I'm so glad to hear that.
It looks
I appreciate that.
funny. And I didn't think I'd ever be so enthralled by a game about a hole, but this looks like a lot of fun. And it's not just about sucking things into a hole. There are some puzzle aspects to this, right?
Right, yeah. So that was kind of the basic concept, was a hole that gets bigger. But I think the interesting thing about the game is that there's different things that can happen inside of the hole, like off screen. So depending on what you put in, you can combine like a fire and a piece of corn to make popcorn shoot out. Or you can fill the hole with water. In this level, you get a snake trapped in the hole.
Oh, there it goes.
And so you have to harass the ranger using the snake, which wiggles around. And so you have to like get all the chickens off their posts.
Wow, okay, so you're using the snake in order to grab that, get that chicken down. Otherwise, you can't pick up the chicken.
Exactly.
I love the snake threat level meter. That's great. So, all of the reacting characters in the game, they're all raccoons?
No, so the raccoons are basically the invaders of Donut County who have this app that lets them open up holes to steal people's trash.
Okay.
And
Well, of course, they want trash. That's their food.
That's the only thing they care about.
Right.
And so in the game, all the people who live in Donut County are various like animal people.
Okay,
And they each have their own kind of unique environment that you're traveling to.
You actually mentioned that, I mean, it doesn't need it, but you said that it's very story rich, and I didn't expect that from a game like this. Tell me about the story progression.
I didn't expect it either, but I think the thing I found when I started working on it pretty seriously was that the important part about the game isn't the hole itself; it's about what you put in the hole. And so, what came out of that?
You're better than this, Twitch chat.
I'm not reading the chat.
Don't do
so
it.
You can say whatever you want.
I'm just kidding. Twitch chat is not better than anything. They're not above it.
That's totally fine. This game is all way underground, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the important thing is the objects and the places that you go and the things that you suck up. And so I really wanted the game to be kind of personal to all the people who live in this place, because the hole is just nothing. Like a hole isn't actually an object. The really important stuff is like, oh, this is people's lives and people's homes, and I wanted you to kind of see the consequences of it, but also not feel, I'm not trying to make you feel bad about doing this because it's supposed to be fun. And so it's about like the characters of the raccoons like coming to terms with the destruction that they've brought to Donut County.
I love the movement in this. It's just...
Look at that pug just hopping around.
It kind of reminds me of... Did you play Everything?
Yeah, I did.
The movement of the creatures, like, they don't really, like, move their arms and legs. They just kind of, like, flop. Like, in Everything, like, the horses, like, just go cartwheeling
I was
everywhere.
crazy about that. That was so funny.
And I love this bird that drinks the water up. That is...
This drinking
That's
bird.
amazing. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, so that's when you're, like, draining the river.
So the last I had heard about the game, there were different areas in Donut County that are based on real places. Can you talk a little bit about the places that you've based some of these areas on?
Yeah, totally. So this game is really inspired by LA. So it kind of starts outside of LA. You go to Joshua Tree State Park. You like enter into like downtown LA in parts. There's like a Disneyland-ish level.
Oh, cool.
So there's like a lot of landmarks, and then there's like, you see the Griffith Observatory, and but they're all kind of this twisted like animal cartoon version of those places. And each thing you definitely destroy, like without prejudice.
I never thought I'd say this, but I'm excited to destroy Disneyland. That sounds amazing.
I know, it's oof.
People are going to recognize these landmarks inside the game.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so cool. And then you get to suck them into the hole.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
Nothing weird about that.
Nothing at all. Now, are you the one and only dev on this, or?
Yes, I am.
You are.
It's been just me since 2013. I have had some help with some music and some help with a few art assets and models and stuff. But other than that, it's been just me working on it.
So this has just been like, a side passion project for 5 years.
Yeah, as side as that could be. I've gotten to do other things, which I'm happy about. Like I got to do some design on Edith Finch with Giant Sparrow previously.
Oh yeah, dude,
which
I
was
played that.
Tonally really different, but I brought some of the same kind of like physics-y, playful aspects to this game. But yeah, it's just been me cranking away at it for years and years. So I'm excited to show it off to people.
Is that a human?
There's a single human,
Oh, okay.
and she's the only rational person in the game. Everyone else is kind of gone nuts. So she's the voice of reason.
I see she got her Letterman jacket from Donut High.
I love those
I'm guessing
jackets.
she lettered in band? I don't know.
Actually, I'll make that canon. Yeah, that sounds right.
You heard it here, folks. It is now canon that, is it Mira?
Mira, yeah.
Mira lettered in band at Donut High School.
She played the flute and
Played
the
the flute?
piccolo.
Ooh,
Yep.
She was
First
a real
chair.
oboe fan. Yeah.
Oboe fan. She always wanted to play the oboe, but her parents said no.
Too big. Too
They
big.
said
Yeah.
elbow.
No oboe. Oh, Lord.
Sorry. I'm sorry. You honestly, you bring so much happiness and joy.
glad.
It's like I feel okay making dumb jokes because I feel like you probably laugh at them.
Oh, dude,
and I appreciate
I
that.
love it. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to make something that was just pure joy and something that wasn't really serious.
Now, I know this game is still in development, but do you have an idea of maybe kind of when it will be released?
It's gonna be 2018 for sure. I'm hoping to have it really soon, but it depends on a couple of things. So
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
see.
No, that's exciting. I can't wait to play it. It really does look like so much fun.
Yeah, this is the popcorn level. There's a lot of birds who are also jerks, who will steal your stuff. But
Yeah.
I mean, you always get the upper hand, I guess.
This is awesome.
Eventually.
Are you cooking them now?
I mean, you could. It's off screen. Anything could happen.
Tell me the birds are gonna be okay, man.
I can't promise
I need
anything.
you to tell me they're
I
gonna be
can't.
okay.
You're just gonna have to find out. Who knows?
Well, this looks absolutely amazing. I
Yeah.
can't wait to play this.
It looks
I'm
Looks
glad
like
to
so
hear
much
that.
fun.
I appreciate that a lot.
What platforms can you get this on?
It's going to be on PS4, PC, and iOS as well. So whatever your favorite platform is there.
Even iOS?
Touchscreen is really fun.
This is great.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Ben, for showing
Yeah.
us your game. I appreciate it, and I appreciate your sense of humor. And I'm glad you said, "What's the matter, Daddy?"
I regret it, actually.
The game is Donut County. You can get it on all the platforms that he just said, and it's available sometime soon this year.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, don't go away. We got more stuff coming to you right here at Twitch, on Twitch. Stick around.
Hey everyone, I'm Matt.
I'm Emma.
And we're hosts at Hyper RPG.
And today we're going to talk to you guys about our love of all things Doctor Who.
He's always standing up for people who may not be able to stand up for themselves.
My favorite episode is probably The Girl Who Waited. Be sure to come on over and check out Hyper RPG. We stream all kinds of nerdy sci-fi related content all week long, and we'd love to see you guys over there in the chat.
It's gonna be real wibbly wobbly.
Jurassic World Evolution. And it's out now on PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Incendiary out.
Did I seriously get that dude in smoke?
Yo.
Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. We're here live E3. I got my boy Okadrian here.
What up?
And we got Derek from Aurora 44, and we're gonna talk about Ashen.
Absolutely, it's happening.
It's happening right now. You're here.
Yeah.
Tell us about
It's
Ashen,
real,
man.
it's live. Sure, I could give you like a rundown of what it is for people who haven't heard about it before. That's
Please
probably
do.
like a good place to start, right?
Totally, man.
So Ashen's an open world action RPG. So like what you'd see from us today is a player running around like our big open world. It has passive multiplayer. So when you head into this world, you don't necessarily have to like head into a lobby to meet up with your friends or anything like that. You just kind of like get into the game and start playing, and someone will just like run along and start playing with you.
Okay.
The other stuff that's going on is that we have stamina-based combat, so you'll see this kind of high-risk, high-reward, animation-based combat kind of going on, which is a great sort of like catalyst for the team play that we have going on, where you can see like two guys going at it right now, where they're trying to beat up some vagrants that are lurking around this area.
Is that their official name, or are you like giving them an adjective? You're describing them as vagrants.
That's an adjective.
Okay,
I'd say, yeah.
making sure.
These are sort of just kind of like desperate people that are left because what's sort of happened here is this is the first time that there's been any natural light in this world. It's been a dark place for ages, and the light just blossomed into the world, and you're running out there, but there's sort of these people that have been kind of like just making it by in the dark this whole time, and when you come across them, they're not necessarily too trusting of you.
You know, I just put something together, and I want you to talk. Well, maybe I did, and I want you to talk a little bit about it. Most, if not all, of the human-looking characters are semi-faceless.
Sure, yeah.
Now, I'm wondering if it has to do with that dark one, or something like that. Please, just go ahead. I'll let you tell me about it.
Look, it's not necessarily like a genetic thing or anything like that. That they actually don't have faces. It's more of a stylistic thing. Where they don't. But you know, our choice to do that, we had two reasons, and it's good when these things sort of come together from multiple angles. But the first one was just that when you meet another person, since you're a lot of times just meeting strangers who run past you, to not judge them by face value is a general thing. That we wanted to kind of instill in the game right from the ground up. And that was interesting because, you know, like, I think no matter how much we tried to do stylized faces on our characters, and we played around with a lot of things, there was no way that our artists wouldn't kind of infuse a bit of meaning, a bit of character into that without us wanting to necessarily. And, when you want like players to run past each other, decide whether they want to play with each other based on how that other person plays, not necessarily how they look. And the other side of it was also just that the way we built Ashen was very much from the outside in. Like, where a lot of times what we'd do is look at a character and like make this really iconic character and then build a world around them. Whereas with Ashen, we kind of built the world first. And it's almost like if you look at like a really amazing painting of an environment, the characters can be quite small and quite minimalist within that whole very complex thing. And so we felt that by pulling our characters back a little bit, it kind of like, if you just sit back and look at screenshots of Ashen, they sit very well with looking at the environment and kind of just being absorbed into this world, I guess you could say, yeah.
Absolutely.
Where do you draw influences from for this game? Like, as I was looking more about it, people can't help but mention Soulsborne, right? But I imagine like you guys want a piece of any pie, like Soulsborne Ashen. But I mean, people call Soulsborne any title, like Nintendogs is Soulsborne to people. But when you look at a game like this, what influences did you draw to create this?
There are so many, you know, like certainly Journey was a big influence just
Great
from
game.
those like absolutely genuine experiences that you had from like somebody moving past you in a natural way, choosing whether you want to hang out with them or not, and then just like
real life.
Yeah, exactly like real life. So that was definitely a big thing for us. Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery is an amazing influence just for their amazing art style and kind of looking at what's achievable in this medium of games, you know, like and where we can take the look of a thing. Certainly looking at things like Dark Souls, like, you know, they've absolutely like pioneered this genre of stamina-based combat. So to even be compared to them in any way, to be honest, is humbling, which is amazing for us.
Speaking to the story, which is one of my, like, I love a good story and I like games that have lore and that kind of stuff. How does the lore and the story get revealed to the player?
Sure. So what we would have seen before this area that we're in now, you would actually see, you would start out in a dark world without any light, and you move towards this mountain on the horizon, which is exploding. And so as you get closer to it, it explodes and you fall down, you land in this area.
Okay.
And so essentially what that is a phoenix myth, where in ages past there was a phoenix that kind of landed in the area of the universe where you are, but it was dying. It was kind of taking its last dying breaths. And in its last few breaths, those were the first 3 ages of light in the world, but it breathed those breaths and then it died. And that's where the world has been in this like many areas of darkness since then, so people have kind of like learned to survive in this kind of very brutal world. But when you start this game, it's just as the Phoenix is starting to be reborn, so it's kind of getting reborn out of the ash that is this world. And your job is to try and find it, try and protect it from forces of the dark that are probably actually trying to revert the world to what its natural state would be.
Okay.
If all things being fair. But for you as a human in this world, like the light is very valuable, so you want to protect it.
Okay.
What are we thinking about as far as variety in apparel, armor, weaponry, and things like that? How deep does it go?
There's a ton of stuff that you can do. I mean, like, you know, particularly like looking at weaponry, for example, one of the big things for us is that players should be able to choose a weapon that feels good to them. So, like, there are a ton of weapons that just have different animation types. You know, whether it's that they're sort of role-playing something that you get more of a drunken master sort of feel to it, or if it's a weapon that lets you like hit stuff and do backflips, like kind of meshed into the whole attack sequence, or if it's just like a giant club that you want to like hammer away at things. There's a ton of stuff there, as well as like, I mean, armors and things like that. Just how players customize themselves is so important.
You have like fisticuffs, right? Like Cesti and things like that?
We don't necessarily, actually. So like an interesting thing we did right at the start, and I suppose that it's similar to like removing the faces for us, was that we made it that they're like, we just decided day one, we're not putting swords in this game. And that was literally because we just didn't want to go to the absolute go-to. We wanted to make sure that our designers had to be original in the sort of the shapes that our animators are making as they're animating things. They couldn't do sort of the tried and true stuff that they actually needed to think about it. So we've got a lot of spears, a lot of axes, and a lot of clubs in the game. And those three kind of weapon types are very varied as well. That, like, you know, some of the clubs might not necessarily look 100% like clubs to you, but that's kind of the archetypes that we've gone for.
On a scale of Hello Kitty to Broken Controller, how hard is the game?
Hello Kitty's pretty hard.
It's a good question though, because we get a lot of questions, like particularly relating to Dark Souls and like Souls-like stuff, and it's like, is it at that level of difficulty? And my answer is a little bit complex for this, because the game has been designed from the ground up for co-op. Everything is balanced for co-op, and you playing with another person. Like, just as you can see here, they're going into a dungeon, someone else is joining him in there. So there's not necessarily, if you play it by yourself, it's probably even slightly harder than those games. But if you play it together with someone else, it's easier. So, like, a lot more accessible. And so, but at the same time, it's not like you don't just cut through it like a knife through butter. It's like the balance curve is very much towards 2 players. But what is amazing about that is, like, our super hardcore players, like we've got perks that you can like sort of customize your character with and stuff like that. And a lot of them are actually geared towards people who don't want to play with other people, so they want that hardcore experience.
Sure, yeah.
So like. There are ones, for example, where like that dungeon door, you can open it solo. You don't need another person, and so that's for people who are just like, you know what, I don't need somebody to help me out with this dungeon. But at the same time, as I say, the game is absolutely balanced, like that sort of thing, where he just helped his friend out with this spider crab thing called a skag, which is pinned his buddy. If you go and hit it, it'll like unpin him, and you know, so it makes the whole thing easier from the unpinning to this sort of stuff here, where he's getting revived by his friend. So if you're playing by yourself, you can't necessarily do that. But we do have like major game-changing perks as well. Like there's one that if you do die like that and you're by yourself, you'll crawl out of your own body as this like desiccated wraith creature and be able to keep on going for just like one more try as you go further.
Nice.
Yeah, dude.
So
That's sick.
there's a ton of options for like customization of the type of play style that you want to do, and what we really hope is that means that like players who are more intimidated by the Souls-like difficulty can play with their friends and kind of get through it and enjoy the story and enjoy the world that we've made. But then the people who want that like super hardcore experience can absolutely get it too.
Casuals can have fun too.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Now, if you want to, is it automatically co-op with another person, or can you like get an AI or something like that to help you?
That's a really great question, because right now what's happened here, because we've got one person behind the scenes here playing today,
Right.
This is AI that's hopping in with him.
Okay.
And so behind the scenes, our matchmaking decides like, you know, you haven't had a friend like try to connect you in ages, like you're somewhere else that's kind of like far away from other people or something, and it'll let AI pop in with you. They're sort of programmed to act just like a player. You'll even see this AI, if we do get far enough in the boss fight, the first time he'll get hit down by that AoE, and the second time he learns and he moves away from it.
Oh, really?
So there's
Wow, that's cool.
There's sort of stuff like that happens, that they start to react to things and act quite interestingly. Yeah, absolutely. And then even on top of that, we've got more options for players, like customizing the way they want to play, because you can just turn off, like, I never want to see AI in my game, because I only want to play with players.
Options important.
Or I never want to see players in my game, I only want to play with AI, or stuff like that. You can do so, like, everybody gets the full experience as well as being able to tailor it.
Excellent, man. Well, thank you very much for showing me the game. The game is called Ashen. It's available sometime in 2018.
Absolutely, yes. Coming this year.
What platforms?
So it will be coming to Xbox and PC.
Xbox and PC, you heard it right here. Coming later this year. Can't wait to get my hands on it, man. It looks awesome. I love the style. I love that combat. Stick around. We got more stuff coming to you. Don't go away.
Your lips are stained with fiction. You always have your reasons, and I spell you rotten. Your hands are sealed in pockets. You fill them with your secrets. To you, I am nothing. I am. Your kiss, sweet like poison. You know you make me reckless. I'll run, but you are friction. Your touch feels like heaven. You make me hate all my sins. You are my religion. My religion. I have a million reasons to leave you, but I have a billion
Welcome back. Here we are. I'm here with Hello Kelly Link and my new friend, Ollie.
Yes, that's correct.
Very nice. We're going to be talking about the game you just saw, Noita. How's it going, man?
Good.
Good. How's your E3?
It's been pretty jet lag heavy. But yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, great.
Well, this is a brand new game, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually not out yet.
Not out yet.
Yeah.
It said, I actually looked on the Steam page, available, and it said when it's done.
Yeah.
Which I like. I like
Very
a finished
honest.
game. I like it completed. And tell us a little bit about this game.
So, Noita is a game in which like every pixel in the game world is simulated. And Noita is a Finnish word. It means basically witch. And
okay.
so in Noita, you are a sort of witch or somebody who is doing magic. And it's also an action roguelite.
Okay.
So that means that every time you play the game world is like different, and also like death in the game is permanent.
Death in the game is permanent?
Yeah.
But
And by
you, with most roguelikes, do you carry on some progression after your death?
there is like some stuff. There's gonna be some stuff, so we don't have that in the game yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not gonna make any promises yet.
Okay.
But yeah. So I believe there is gonna be something. Yeah.
Well, let's jump into the game right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
You have your keyboard and mouse with
Yeah.
you. You can start.
Yes. So.
This game definitely has a very dark vibe to me. And of course, now that you've explained that it's Witch in Finnish, is there, like, and you can see the hands crumbling at the end of the trailer. This story that we're following along, is it a very dark story?
I wouldn't say so. It's like there's quite a little story at the moment. And the game, like, I don't know, some people consider it very dark, but I would say it's sort of like, it has some humor in it.
Okay.
And also, like, you have all these wacky situations because of the simulation you have in the game. So it's kind of hard to call it a very dark game.
One of the big elements, I think, is spell creation.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
So I can't show it to you yet because we are not at that part of the game. But basically, in the game you have these magic wands. They have different properties. Like at the moment we are showing quite many of them, but it's probably gonna be a bit different later on.
Okay.
Anyways, and the wands, they contain like actions. This one has a rain cloud in it, and the other one we had on the start has a like bomb inside it.
Oh, okay.
So if we try to use this one here, it spawns like a
Oh, and then you
that
have spawn
creates-
water.
Yeah, and then we have the water flowing down here. And
Now, is there going to be certain things that help you in the level like water, which will allow you to like swim across things, or different wands that do different? Like,
yes. So for example, if we normally it just like I try to make us burn. Normally it should be very easy, but for some reason I can't find any fire anywhere.
Yeah, there's like a little trap fire in there.
Okay, yeah, there is some fire. But, okay, let's try this. So now we are burning, and also we are covered in oil. That means that it's gonna be more dangerous to us. But now we create this cloud, and we can get rid of the fire, like you actually saw in the trailer. And yeah.
Man, that was close. You got down to 14 HP.
I guess I'm gonna die.
Oh no.
Because I'm actually like. Okay, yeah.
So going on from this, you're not going to carry on your wands or anything like that. But in some roguelikes, if you get to a certain level, you're not able to make it to like an even farther level the next time you play it through. Is that going to be in this?
There's gonna be probably some of that.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe like shortcuts and stuff like that.
And I notice you have 4 slots for wands, but
Yes.
then there's another 4 slots next to that. What's that for?
So you can find items like potions, and also when there's the phase where you can modify your wands, there's the actions inside the wands, and some of them you can like move onto these slots. So
Okay.
they are like basically your item slots. So now we found this potion, and it's a blood potion. It's not gonna be very useful right now, but let's see if we find a way to use it later.
What's that glowing, sparkling thing that we're seeing on the screen right now?
So that means that there is some sort of item in here. And yeah, it's a wand, and now I'm first gonna get rid of the fire. So there's some water in here. Yeah, I could have used the blood potion, like break it and then just cover myself in blood, so the
But then
fires.
there was water right next to it, so you didn't really need to.
Yeah.
So the blood potion like literally covers you in blood.
Yeah, we can actually do that, like, or we can throw it on the enemy. Like now they are bloody, and okay, this is bad. Let's see. Okay, great.
On the
So when you threw the blood potion at the monster there and it covered him with blood, what are the benefits of him being bloody?
So right now, like, there are no benefits, to be honest. It's actually just worse because it's harder to make them burn or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But we are gonna add some things like maybe they are gonna be more angry or make more damage to you. Or stuff like that. Yeah, because they are bloody. That's obviously what happens.
What are the things that you guys thinking of adding that we're not seeing in this demo right now?
Yep. Oh, sorry.
What else are you guys thinking of adding that we're not seeing in this demo right now? Maybe mechanics that we're not necessarily seeing.
So right now we have like I would say 6 different biomes or something like that.
Cool.
In the game, but there are going to be more on the side of the game world. So like optional routes you can go through.
Okay, so it's not
Stuff
just
like
one
that.
linear path that you have to take.
Yeah. So actually, like the whole game world is quite big, and if you want to explore everything on your run, it's going to take a while. So normally when people are going to play this game, they are going to see just a small part of the world.
What did you just get doused with?
I'm covered in slime currently.
Slime, okay.
And also in water.
Yeah, so all those the icons over your head are your current status, like
Yes.
status
Yes.
effects.
Yeah, that's what we call them.
Okay. Oh, and then you stepped on the fire and it like burned away your slime and your water. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay,
but
okay.
Oh, how
we also
cool.
had some protection from the fire because of those.
And-
And the slime is a thing that slows you down a bit, so we probably don't want to be covered in slime all the time.
The tagline for this game is a magical action roguelite where every pixel is simulated.
Yes.
Tell me why it was so important to like notify that every pixel is simulated. What exactly are you telling us there?
Because it's the most interesting thing about the game, I guess. So we have like these different game mechanics, like burning all the time.
Right.
Yeah, and.
Uh-oh. Need to find some water.
Yeah, sorry, I can't talk and find water at the same time. Okay.
Sorry, it's totally fine.
I mean, the game looks brutal, like hard, like.
Yeah, it's really hard also because I can't see.
Oh
well,
yeah,
it's
I'm
studio.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure that's definitely part of it.
And yeah, but it is hard. That's correct. Yeah.
So by every pixel being simulated, you mean like the wood, like it burned. It burned different than the way that the rocks would behave.
Yes. So we have like every pixel has basically a temperature and all kinds of different physical properties, and different materials react in different ways based on what is their current state and so on. So
Yeah, we've already seen blood and slime and water that you can be covered in.
yeah.
One element for a lot of roguelite games is collectibles and unlockables. Is this game going to have like a plethora of those, or?
I'm not gonna promise that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No
Hopefully,
promises yet.
Yeah. Let's say hopefully yes.
Okay, so that is it's a wish list kind of a thing. Like that, we might add that a little later.
Yes. Yeah. It's still work in progress. So yeah.
Absolutely.
But so, for example, now we found this wand that actually is sort of like a torch, and we can use to put things on fire. We can burn this grass on the ground. It's not going to be that spectacular.
Oh, but I like that though. That's still simulated. The tiny grass,
Yeah.
it doesn't burn like the rest of it.
Yeah. It's a bit hard to ignite them, but yeah, now it's burning slowly. And this one is a bit easier to ignite.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But let's try to. Okay, we found this heart that's gonna increase our maximum health.
Oh, okay.
So that is gonna be useful later on in the game, or even now because. Yeah. Okay.
We have the health bar, and then you have a jump, more like a jetpack bar. What's the blue bar?
It's your mana. So all the things in the wands, they use mana, basically. But most of them are like, here you can't really see it, but it's basically how we keep the wands sort of balanced. So you have more powerful spell actions, and those are going to consume more mana.
Okay.
Okay.
And yeah.
Are there end-level boss fights and that kind of thing?
Probably yes.
Okay. Okay.
And the stats that we see on the wand, which is definitely one of the more interesting parts of this game for me, definitely when you do roguelike So you want to have like a lot of constantly new changing items, even when they're similar. Can you upgrade that yourself through your money, or once you get a wand, that's the stats that's going to have?
Yes, so I hope we get to the shop this time when we are playing. I'm actually gonna just try to get there, and that's where we can tweak the wands. And, like,
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
and
I was
also-
just gonna ask, like, what is the
Yeah.
money for? Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, it's just to make you sad or happy. No, it's like a
Like real life, then.
but yeah, there's like we found this teleport. We don't have to go there yet, but I guess because we haven't. Like, how many minutes do we have?
we don't have too much time left
Yeah,
if
so
we're not
this is
able
the
to make
shop.
it. Oh, this is the shop. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And here in the shop, actually, I'm not sure if you can buy anything. That's a bit sad.
You're a bit
Well,
poor.
there's this item, yes. It's a very bouncy ball, or like a magic ball. And now we can modify these ones. So we can drag it, for example, here.
Okay.
And then let's do some other things.
Oh,
So I
cool.
moved one of the like magical projectiles inside this wand, and it means that I have like this bit of fire.
That's
in it.
awesome. So you can make a weapon specifically for how you want to play.
Yeah, sort of. But you also have to improvise a lot because of, like, you are not gonna have all the items all the time.
Of course.
Right.
That's roguelite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we try to sort of like make it very like the system is built to give you very hard choices all the time. So this once it shoots these bouncy balls.
So now the wand has the bouncy property.
Yes.
Okay.
Sort of.
Okay.
Yeah. But it also has the fire or torch property, and it means that it also works as a torch.
Are there things you can purchase that aren't just weapon upgrades?
Yes, sort of. If you mean like shields.
Yeah.
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 That kind of stuff. Excellent.
Yeah. And like the rain cloud is also sometimes on the shop that you saw in the beginning. Yeah.
So you can actually buy a cloud.
Yes.
buy a rain cloud.
Yes. That's correct.
Well, it looks like that's all the time we have for this. The game is called Noita, N-O-I-T-A. You can look for more information on noitagame.com is where I went. Thank you very much for showing it to us. I appreciate it. Keep working on it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see what you have in store for us in the coming future for this game.
Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. More stuff coming to you right here from E3 live at the Twitch studios. Stick around.
Do you really wanna love me that like you say you do? Give it to me like you say you do. 'Cause it's warm enough for you.
Incendiary out.
Did I seriously get that dude in smoke?
Yo.
Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Take it off, the feeling's gone. We land at this point again. Face
Welcome back, E3 on Twitch. This is DJ Tech Live. I'm here with Rachel and Steve.
What up?
Presenting to you guys today, Dead Cells.
Almost.
Yeah. What's going on at Dark Souls-like?
You're going straight for it. Straight for the kill.
Yeah, Dead Cells. Oh my goodness, this game, I put so many hours into this game. Released on Steam earlier in 2017?
Yep, May 2017 came out early access.
Okay. For those that don't know, can you give us a little rundown of what Dead Cells is and why is it so amazing?
Yeah, okay, so Dead Cells is what we're calling a Roguevania game. So basically it's the result of half of the team really like in roguelites or roguelike games, and half of the team like in Castlevania type games. And so sitting around arguing about how we can make all of that go into one game. So you've got procedural generation, so you can see this map here, that's going to change every time you run through, every time you die.
Thanks. Yeah,
run
thank
through.
you for that.
Yeah, exactly. You guys have played, you know what I'm talking about. And when you die, you're dead, so you're going to go back and start again. So for example, I've got a sword and a bow here. When I died, I would lose that. However, if, for example, I'd managed to collect a whole bunch of cells, not souls, and unlock some stuff, then that progress would stay with me through my runs. So for example, the next run I would now have access to, you know, like a big broadsword or an extra shield or something like that. Whereas these little power-ups here that you can buy, they're gone. So
I love how the Dead Cells, and actually if you can get a little more into like what you mean when you say Dead Cells, and that you're not this character. This is the thing that tripped me out the first couple times I played through. I'm like, where's my guy? You're the cells controlling the guy, and so that's actually where the upgrades and the changes come from at the end of the levels, right?
Exactly. So without spoiling, because that's sort of some of the stuff that we're holding back for the
Oh, hey everybody! Well, now you know.
Where basically, you know, you come out of this like tube at the beginning, you're kind of this gross-looking little blob character, and you're like, ooh, what the heck is this? And so then this little blob, he jumps straight into body. So you kind of understand, I seem to be able to take over bodies. That's kind of weird. What's going on with that? And then the deal is that you just got to run through and explore as much of the world as you can, because each run is going to be different. You know, you might go through the first levels in a linear fashion as you go the first time, and then next time you're going to come back through different levels because you will have unlocked different areas.
You realize you don't like
Yeah, and as you go, you're going to find out a bit about this little guy. So
And speaking of which, there's levels that I went through. I was like, okay, you have different paths. Like right after you get out of the first zone, a lot of rogue-like games kind of keeps you on the same path, gives you a little bit of options later on, upgrade here and there if you die, so to speak. But yours, the sewer, my goodness, okay, it's like it's high risk, high reward. But if you get sick of going that way, you can go another way. And you can still circle back to get to the sewers. There's player choice.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't circle back within a run. So once you've like made the choice to move forward in a certain direction within a particular run. So for example, now I've come into the courtyard level here. So I'm stuck in this one. I can't actually go back. But the next time round, for example, I've unlocked this new ability, so I can now triple jump to get up to an area that I couldn't get to before or something like that. Then you're gonna go, I'm sick, like you say, of the sewers because it's super hard and I keep getting caned. So you go a different direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do have some like initial frustrations of game types that force you to die to learn, but I love the gamification in the roguelikes that we've been playing that made it fun, and I think Dead Cells has there's a joy to dying too, because you kind of get to go back, get to start again, and approach it with all that knowledge. But what are the benefits that you give us for those times when we don't quite make it, but we're getting so close to these puzzles?
Yeah, so I mean, this is something that we actually spend a lot of time with, like trying to take out that frustration of death, because death, at the end of the day in roguelikes, it's a key component of the game. But at the same time, it shouldn't suck. You shouldn't die and think like, oh crap, man, I just lost all of this progress. So you'll see as I'm killing enemies, I'm collecting cells. I haven't got too many of them down there at the moment. And each time you pass between a level, you saw just previously there was this like weird guy called the Collector who was hanging around. He's gonna
he's going to collect those cells and say, all right, now you've unlocked this, you can upgrade your equipment so that, for example, you know, you might not be the best player in the world. Like right now, I'm sucking pretty hard.
Well, you're doing a great job talking.
Quite a lot of
trade off.
quite a lot of enemies floating around here. But you can upgrade your weapons so that the next time through, you'll just be more powerful on base level. And if you are the greatest player in the world, then you don't actually have to do that. For example, I'm pretty good, so I
You
don't
took
know.
a lot of the pain out of the frustrating part of the game.
Yeah, well, that's the idea. You know, like
Thank you.
death without the frustration. Hopefully.
So not only can you upgrade your weapons, what about your character as well?
So yeah, like not so much the character at the moment. There are some things that you can upgrade. For example,
like money pouch.
Yeah, exactly. Your money
health.
pouch that you can get, and your health flasks.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like items that are going to give you benefits within the game.
Right.
So when you die, for example, you're going to maintain some health. Like I'm about to come up against an elite now, and when I beat him, if I beat him, he's going to give me one of these permanent upgrades. So let's see if we can do that.
Speaking of which, on your website you say Roguemania Souls-like combat craziness.
Yeah.
Which we're getting ready to see. The bosses hit hard.
Yeah.
You have to be really good at dodging, as we like to say, rolling, and you just destroyed that guy.
Yeah, so I've done that a couple of times. So like the Souls-like element, you know, like when we first started, the game was a lot slower in the pacing. But we still, as we developed and we decided that, hey, you know, like running and moving really fast is something that's heaps of fun. We still wanted to maintain that idea of like, if you don't pay attention, you're going to get punished. Like, for example, you saw I got hit one time by this guy just now, and that completely
Almost
smashed,
took me down.
it almost took me down. So, you know, you can run through and be fast when you're good, but if you come up against an enemy that you've never seen, then you're gonna see why we sort of do that reference to Dark Souls, because they have patterns, you need to learn them, and if you don't, they're just gonna punish you.
So big thing about this game that we haven't touched on yet, the weapons. Now, some of the weapons have conditions and buffs depending on how you use them.
Look away, look away. We didn't see it. I don't know. You're doing great, man.
Yeah, I was doing all right.
You're doing so good,
He
Steve.
distracted me.
He's like, weapons, yes, okay. Well, this is a good thing, Joe. So one of my favorite ones was the dagger.
Yeah.
Like you critical hit every time you hit in the back.
Yep.
Can you explain a little bit more about the weapons for people that don't know?
Yeah, so again, part of the homage to Dark Souls is that each of the weapons and each of the builds that you're going to make are very, very different. You know, so if you're going to play with a heavy broadsword, you've got a lot of cooldown, a lot of time for your swing, so you've got to take that into consideration when you're fighting. And so, for example, the dagger, we wanted to make each weapon have something kind of cool that it can do. So these are the basic weapons that you start with in the game. They kind of suck, but when you unlock that dagger and you crit on a backstab every single time, all of a sudden, that's going to allow you to say, hey, I really like doing that roll. Like, that's what I just did then. And I want to play like that. Or maybe you say, you know what, I prefer to play at a distance, you know, and cheese my enemies. Like, I can sit here with this bow.
I do.
Yeah. So I can just sit over here and shoot these guys. Oops. Not too much though, because we stick the arrows in there into the enemies. So the idea is to differentiate the play style based on the items that you find, so that you're constantly adapting, but also having the opportunity to play with a lot of things that you might really enjoy playing with.
And one thing I love is that it's multiple, you know, so you can combine, and for instance, for the dagger, I always went with the ice skill.
Yeah.
Freeze them, and it makes it
the
easy.
freeze bomb,
I could just stab them this way.
That's a classic build, that one. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of people do that, and that's some of the things that we've been working on in our latest updates. Is it's trying to find ways of encouraging players to test out builds that they might not have used before. So for example, the Forge, which is like this little guy that you come across after you beat the first boss, it's going to allow you to globally upgrade your weapons so that you'll know, hey, when I unlock this level in the Forge, a certain percentage of all my weapons are going to be like legendary.
Oh, that's fantastic. And you don't have to go in, like, select and upgrade and time
No,
out, right? They just become better.
Because we did it like that before. You know, we previously, you could, like with this guy, you could upgrade that, but then we said, you know what, this isn't the best way that we can do it.
Well, so that leads into my question, which is, this game came out in early access, you know, over a year ago. A lot of people like Frank right here have had a lot of time into it already.
Yeah.
When it comes out in August, what are the changes that are going to be over the years? What comes out then?
Okay, so the changes, like we've been talking to the community about this for a long time. Like the game is pretty much content complete now. The big content update that's going to come with launch is the lore. So you know you're going to find out much more about the universe and
That's
and
so
the
exciting for the people who have been playing, because
Yeah.
that's the stuff they want to know after all this time.
Exactly. And so in between time, we've just been releasing like little cosmetic upgrades. Like he's got a scarf now that's hanging off the back of
You
him.
have to trust us.
That was
It's not
some
just
random
good.
stuff that one of our developers added in. And we've just been fixing like all of the bugs that we can find, everything that people have been complaining about on the forums. For example, we've got Mac and Linux versions, which will be coming out real soon.
That was going to say. So, Steve, where can we find the details on this game, and when can they get it across all the platforms?
Yeah, so August is the release date that we're given at the moment. We'll be announcing the firm release date soon, so keep your eyes peeled. Best places to keep up to date with what we're talking about is on the Steam forums. We put out our Steam news and stuff there. We've also got an official Discord. That's a pretty good place. Okay, cool. I got carried away playing my own game. Sorry about that.
He's playing his heart out, guys.
It's great.
Well, Steve, thank you so very much. That was Dead Cells, and you have more content on the way, so don't go anywhere.
Thank you.
Incendiary out.
Did I seriously get that dude in smoke?
Yo.
Oh my.
Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Jurassic World Evolution. And it's out now on PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Welcome back, everyone, to E3 on Twitch. I am Kelly Ling, joined by Okadrian, and we have Sam from the Game Band here, and we're looking at Where Cards Fall, a unique little puzzle game that has such a bright, colorful art direction. I love it.
Oh, thank you very much.
So, for anyone that hasn't heard of the game before, how would you describe it to them?
So Where Cards Fall is a coming-of-age story where you build houses of cards to bring vivid memories of your youth to life. And the game plays out through a series of spatial puzzles. So you're building these houses of cards, and they can do a couple different things. They allow you to traverse the environment and navigate the spaces, but later on they become these interior spaces that kind of bring the world to life, and you can go inside and explore them and meet the people that live there.
So you're kind of building the world along while you go with it.
Right, exactly.
So are you playing an older version that is having memories of his youth?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what's happening.
Okay.
The story takes place over 10 years. So,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
we're seeing a lot of different memories throughout it.
And as a puzzle game, it's not like other puzzle games, really. You are using a deck of cards, but how exactly are you using it to traverse the land?
Yeah, so we have a couple different types of card structures. The most basic type just become like a bridge that allows you to navigate from point A to point B. But we have these other types that allow you to traverse height as well. So houses with sloped roofs that you can use to climb upwards, skyscrapers, and we have these different environment mechanics like wind that blow down pieces of skyscrapers. So you're basically like, you're kind of creating the actual space. And when you play the puzzles in the game, it starts to feel, I think it feels a little bit like Portal because you're reinterpreting this 3D space and seeing paths that don't exist right before you.
Right, totally.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it kind of teaches you along the way, right? Like
Yeah.
as you do the first puzzle, that same puzzle come into play, 10 puzzles later, 10 puzzles later, and you start learning. as you go
Right,
along,
absolutely. We really try to teach our mechanics through the actual level design itself. So as you're going through the game, you'll learn a concept, and it might not even feel like you're learning a concept, but you'll see it again later on. So you start to kind of build up this language for the game and really understand it.
So you're saying that there isn't like little text pop-ups that's like, place your cards here.
Yeah, none of that, none of that.
Press
this button right here.
Right.
Oh, hand holding, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just teach you whatever our like core interaction gestures are because we're launching on a whole bunch of different platforms. So we redesign the controls for every one of them. And we, so at the beginning of the game, we just teach you like what to do to build a house of cards. And then after that, the level design does all the teaching for itself.
So you said, and we got to see it a little bit, that not only do you get to build these house of cards that allow you to traverse the land, but you get to go inside of them and build like sort of a city.
Right,
What kind of places can you go inside, and what kind of interactions happen inside of it?
Yeah, totally. So a lot of our core story moments happen inside of the different interior spaces. So you might build, say, an art gallery where an old friend of yours is showing off her artwork for the first time. And you'll go inside and meet her and see her there. And so that's one example of the type of thing that you might see there. But we also have ones that are just there to kind of flesh out the world a little bit and give you just a sense for what kind of space you're in. So you might build a coffee shop and grab a cup of coffee.
I love coffee. You know, actually, when I was watching the gameplay video of this, at some point, I saw a skateboard.
Yeah.
And our chat here on Twitch loves skateboarding.
I don't know if they actually like skateboarding more so of just skate.
Yeah, just skate. My question is, do you get to eventually skateboard around in your puzzle game?
There's no skateboarding, unfortunately, in our game. But one of the main characters in the game is an avid skateboarder, so we see a lot of it.
That's close enough.
Yeah, right?
There you go, chat. You got what you want.
Yeah.
So is there only one way to really solve these kind of puzzles, or is there some variety in the completion of them?
Yeah, so all of the puzzles feel pretty different from each other. So the ones that we're seeing here are the early ones that are just kind of teaching you the core concepts for the game. But a lot of them have to do with, like some of them are very large where you're building like skyscrapers and such, but there's other ones that, I think the hardest puzzles in the game are the ones that are actually the smallest because they're giving you the least amount of things to work with. So you really have to see like many steps ahead, yeah.
Are you not allowed to, oh, I'm sorry, please.
Oh, I was gonna mention that I saw you have no loading between
right.
each puzzle area.
That's right,
And
yeah.
this is across different platforms. How's that work?
Well, our lead engineer, Brandon Sword, created this amazing streaming system where the whole game is just completely continuous. So as you're going throughout the game, we never break for a loading screen or a pause menu or anything like that. It's just
How does saving work then?
It happens behind the scenes, but it's pretty obvious too, because it's still, like every time we pull out the camera, that's like a transition into another puzzle. So you'll know, like, okay, if I stop here,
That's what I was worried about. Okay, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the decision of that then. Why would you have it be so seamless?
It was really because this game takes place over the course of a series of memories. We really wanted the game to feel a little bit, well, dreamlike. Because I think memories and dreams feel pretty similar to each other. And when the whole game is continuous and we're never breaking for anything, then it kind of gives you that just like stream of consciousness vibe that dreams and memories often have.
So I'm looking at the cards that we see right here, and the one set of puzzles that we've seen, or the cards, is that it creates a 3x3 essentially.
Right.
Is there some variety that I could change it to a 4x4 if I wanted to?
Yeah, in fact, you can build them as large as the space allows you to. So we're seeing here that it's going to get even bigger.
okay,
Yeah,
cool.
and that'll allow
It's like
the
they heard
fire
you.
to keep going.
I'll show you how many you can do.
But it's always a square.
Just the early parts of the game have squares, but we have different types of structures later on. So we're introducing you to the mechanics of the most basic type of card structure that we could give you, which is a square. But later on, you'll see houses that have these sloped roofs, and those let you get higher, not just across. And the skyscrapers, they're very interesting because when wind comes into play, it peels off different pieces of the story. So a structure that starts off as 3 stories tall can become 1 story tall based on where you build it.
You say so casually, like it's the worst thing that could possibly happen to you. You're like, ah, man, that sucks.
It can help you too. It's bad and good. It depends on whatever the context of the puzzle is.
So this is one of the more difficult puzzles that we've seen for the first time, where you have to control 2 of them to allow it, and you can increase the height of it?
No, the height stays the same for these ones, but there are structures later that have variable height.
Cool.
Yeah.
When you're doing these puzzles, if you haven't played for a while, you take that break and you go do something else, shower maybe. and then you come back to play the game after several weeks. Can you backtrack if you forget how a certain puzzle mechanic works? Go back to a previous puzzle you really enjoyed and do it all over again.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have a level select to allow you to go back and forth.
Okay.
But we have some really cool tricks for even like our menus and our level selects that we still don't really break the continuous take. So we'll fly up into the sky and like never like have a full cut.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty neat.
Really cool.
How many
Yeah, I'm
levels are
excited to show
there?
you. There's over 80 puzzles in this game. So it's a pretty lengthy game. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to explore.
And when you say a puzzle, you mean like each of these
right,
or like a
right.
whole map?
Like one of these.
Okay.
But there's a lot of transition sections between these puzzles that use the cards in different ways. Some of them are more focused just on our narrative moments. Like we have this really great school dance that uses the cards in a really interesting way. And it's not really a puzzle, it's just kind of a cool narrative vignette in a way.
Well, let's talk about the narrative then. Tell me about this character that we're learning his life story.
Yeah. Actually, we designed the character to be gender ambiguous, so it's not necessarily a he. It depends on what our players decide. But the story itself, it starts off, and this is a park where our main character like to come and sketch during their teenage years. And later on, we take you to the suburbs where they spend their high school years. And after that, we'll go after college into the place where they move to, into the cities. So I don't want to give too much away as far as like what occupation they choose and everything, but it really explores this person's life in pretty great detail.
And since it is a narrative-focused game and it is a puzzle game, I'm curious if there are certain side puzzles that you can kind of do. Like you follow maybe a path that tells you go this way, do this puzzle, but are there like secondary paths that can kind of add on and give you a story you otherwise may not have experienced?
Absolutely. We've got a lot of hidden puzzles in the game because we found when we were designing the puzzles that we want this game to be accessible and approachable to a lot of different people. But this game can also be really hard if we want it to be. Like these mechanics are pretty deep. Even though they're very simple to control, they allow you to make puzzles that are just incredibly challenging and interesting. So for the players that will really enjoy that, we've tucked away a bunch of hidden puzzles.
That's great news.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about the art direction here. It's very beautiful, very cartoony, and I can see these little like wisps kind of like moving around and everything. What's the direction for that?
Yeah, so our art director, Josh Harvey, actually came from the motion graphics industry. So he's bringing a really unique, different type of style to this game that we don't usually see in video games. But I think what you're commenting on is the fixed width line, which is kind of one of the hallmarks of the Where Cards Fall art style, where all of the lines have like this very singular width to give it this sort of like drawn-on feel.
Oh, well, that, and then there's also these white little wisps that kind of like follow around.
Oh, those are actually, they're supposed to be insects. Yeah, so we use
cool.
these as little as possible to give us as much as we can.
And how cool, we only got to see a few seconds of it, but the inside of that room was so lush with characters and everything.
Yeah.
Very separated from like him adventuring through the forest, going into there. Can you interact with all of the other characters there and they kind of tell you a story?
Yeah, so a lot of our characters will be able to interact with in the game. And some of them are designed to be more background to give you a bit of a sense for what the world is, but a lot of the main characters you'll be able to interact with in interesting ways. And the system that governs the background characters is actually really interesting. So we're building out this NPC system that's kind of like a mini version of The Sims that's running inside the game.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So
I love The Sims.
You're solving a puzzle and you're
excited.
also like creating this world and this ecosystem where people are walking around and interacting with the things that you're building.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So it's persistent. Whatever you built is going to stay in that world forever?
Until you tear it down.
Wait, until you tear it down,
Until you
as in
tear it
like
down.
voluntarily, or you have to?
Because to
or-
solve the puzzles, you'll have to, as soon as you build something, that might allow you to get to a new spot, but then you'll have to tear it down to move to another spot. Well, it's a memory, so these things aren't exactly
No,
destruction.
I like that. That's a good way to judge
heart.
We really want it to feel like you're piecing these memories back together again. So when you're thinking about like an old memory, you sometimes remember a fragment of it, and then you go on to the next one.
So it was really important for you guys to kind of make this relatable.
Right.
To make it to where everyone kind of like looks back into their memories and can see these sort of events that happened in their life and to seamlessly put them all together. That's really ambitious, honestly.
Oh, thank you.
Do you feel like it'll be easy for players to understand the narrative as they go along, or is it tucked away so much that you have to like really dive?
Oh, we really hope so. Like the narrative is very much at the forefront of the experience. It's not so much like an afterthought or something that's kind of put over top of it. And there's certainly parts of the story that will probably require like a second playthrough or such to pick up on. But the core narrative itself is right there at the forefront, and we're telling the story through really interesting ways too. There's no dialogue in the game at all. So our sound designer, Christy Nupp, she created a language for the game that's completely
just like The Sims.
Yeah, just like The Sims.
Just like The Sims.
Yeah. But then after that, we use body language and just animation and visual design and the game mechanics themselves to tell as much of the story as we can.
That's, I mean, it kind of makes it like for everyone. Anyone can kind of interpret it into their own ways.
Right.
Be your own language, no matter where you're from.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Thank you so much, Sam, for showing us where cards
Absolutely.
fall. When can people expect this and on what consoles?
So we'll be out sometime next year. We haven't announced the release date just yet, but we'll be on a lot of different platforms at launch. So we're going to be on Steam, on iOS, on Apple TV, and we're thinking about plans for console as well, but we're not ready to
Apple
talk about
TV?
it.
Oh, awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
First time I've heard that all weekend.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. It's actually a really cool games platform, and a lot of people have them that aren't like naturally drawn to games.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to get more people into the fold.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Sam, again, thank you so much for joining us here. And on behalf of Kadrina and myself, everyone, thank you for joining us. But don't go anywhere because we have more games coming up next.
Quando eu era criança, sempre sonhei em tornar-me um campeão. É preciso determinação e vontade de vencer. Até mesmo nos momentos mais difíceis, tu tens de continuar a acreditar. Esta é a tua oportunidade de te mostrares ao mundo. Tu és um campeão.
Hey everybody, welcome back to E3. I'm your host, Rachel. I'm joined here by Kira, and between us, we've got Matt, the producer for FIFA 19. Matt, every year this game gets prettier. Every year you put tons of new stuff in here for the fans. What are you bringing for us this year?
Well, the big one is Champions League. So
Yes.
we've finally got that license into FIFA. And it's not just one mode, it's across the entire game. So we're delivering a Champions League mode in the game this year. We're going to see it in the Journey 3 for Alex Hunter as he goes for the Champions League glory. We're going to see it in FIFA Ultimate Team. And then we're going to see it in career mode as well, which is a highly played mode. And we're going to make that all authentic with the Champions League and the Europa League and the Super Cup.
Wow, so you're not just, you're like, here, you want a Champions League? Take 100 Champions Leagues.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, well, tell us a little bit about how you're going to be putting it into these modes. How do you weave this into the story, and how do you, then take it out of the story and present it as its own?
Yeah, so I think, you know, the big thing we do first is just make sure that the on-pitch Champions League experience is fantastic. So we've spent a lot of effort, reproducing that fantastic, authentic Champions League experience. So we've got new commentators in there with Derek Ray and Lee Dixon, who are brand new to the franchise. Cool. They really freshen it up. And then UEFA actually refreshed their entire Champions League look. So you're going to see it for the first time in FIFA this year. And then obviously this just goes through all the modes. So in career mode, you're going to be able to go into these and play the Champions League in European Europa League. And then Alex Hunter being able to actually go on that kind of that final journey of trying to become a Champions League winner, which is obviously probably every footballer's aspiration.
Yeah, this is the end of his trilogy, right?
Yes, it is, yes.
Wow, so if you've been playing along with Alex, this is it. You're going to want to play this one to finish his story up.
Yep. And it's, you know, it's been such a successful mode that we put into FIFA The Journey, and, you know, lots of fans love it. They love Alex Hunter, and you're going to see him kind of, you know, go to the top of club football.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you play him. He'll remain a middling player under my control.
Yeah.
But you know, speaking of middling players, I noticed you got your Leeds jersey on. Is this the team you choose to play through the league?
I do, and the wonderful thing in Champions League is that I can actually edit the Champions League mode and put Leeds in there. So they've not been in for a very, very long time. So I get to play against all the big clubs and struggle along. But
I'm so happy
it's
for
really
you.
good. Yeah,
And hopefully win.
Rewrite that narrative.
Really try hard, yeah.
We touched a little bit on it too. You know, bring the fidelity, bring the beauty of the game to life for the players. Tell me a little bit about the stadiums that we're going to get to play in and the care that you've taken to, again, make these character models, make the motion so beautiful.
Yeah, well, every year we try and, you know, up the level of visuals with Frostbite. Obviously, we brought that in FIFA 17. We'll continually look to every year iterate and make the best looking game. You know, the big mantra for FIFA is authenticity. So any new stadiums we bring in, we try and obviously get the best content in there. You know, we make sure they're all up to date and looking great. And, you know, we make sure that, you know, in Champions League, we go for that authentic feel as well.
Speaking of looking good, I think the real player technology that is implemented in this, it makes it look fantastic. I mean, these look like real people running on the field. It's incredible.
Yeah, and you know, our gameplay big thing this year is an active touch system, which is how you pass and shoot the ball. So giving you the ability to control this a bit more cleanly and a bit more with more fluidity and more animation. The net result is that the game is a lot more responsive this year. Actually, it feels better. So when you're doing passing and shooting, it just feels a lot more kind of like you're in control of the game.
It's natural.
Yes, yeah.
That's amazing. And I understand there's an ongoing free trial right now.
Yes, so the free trial for FIFA 18 is obviously in line with the World Cup. So the World Cup starts tomorrow. Come on, England. Everybody can download that and play it. And you know, the World Cup DLC was a fantastic addition to FIFA 18. And you know, go out and play it. It's fully authentic players, stadiums. It's the real deal. It's great.
Well, you have so many reasons. I mean, fans play because they're fans of the game, but you've got such great online connectivity. You're doing a bunch of leagues and a bunch of ways to celebrate the players this year. Can you tell me a little bit about online and any innovations you brought there? Or is it just tuning up the system, making it faster, stronger, better?
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit of a tuning up. We always look to obviously do the best thing we can across the game. You know, FIFA Ultimate Team is like kind of our big online mode that people play, so we're going to see the Champions League there. With other bits and pieces we'll kind of get to as we go through the summer and announce more about the game.
When I play online, I like to make sure that everyone knows it's me. Okay. And then I'm looking sharp and I'm looking special and unique. So tell me a little bit about how I can personalize, you know, my players, my teams going forward.
So there's a really great feature this year in gameplay called Dynamic Tactics. You can actually customize exactly how your team is set up. So you can go in there, set them up before you start the match. And the great thing is that then you can apply any tactic you've created onto the mentality. So on the D-pad this year, pushing left and right, you can actually actively change your tactics as you play through the game.
Oh, right. Wow. So you
don't need to pause and come out of the menu anymore. You can actually set that up, and obviously when you're online, you can set that up, and people don't need to see how you're doing that. So you can basically switch it. So when I play with the dev team, I played with some producers last week, and they're actually a lot better than me at the game. And it's really great. I set up the ultra attacking one. I just pushed all my players into the box, and it's really great. You can just do that live now in the game. You don't have to come out, and it's like, kind of, you know, keep your cards close to your chest with this new tactics system.
Yeah, and keep the players engaged in the game rather than pulling them out of it every time they have to change those strategies.
Exactly, yeah, it's really
That's incredible.
Yeah, huge quality of life changes, an exciting new mode across. It's going to be Champions League is going to be represented. Say them all again.
Oh, Champions League, Europa League, and Super Cup. It's like the whole thing from UEFA. So
really cool.
It's going to be a fantastic experience this year.
All right, and where can we get the rest of the info for players who are interested in continuing their journey?
I would go to EA.com/FIFA, I think it is. You know, I think it's everywhere. I think everybody's looking FIFA this year.
Yeah,
so
they know where to find it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with more games. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you.
You've worked your whole life to get to moments like these. To the very top of the mountain. You battle through the pain and failure. All just to get to this place where you've been told legends are born. You fall so you can rise. And you rise so that you can truly see that it was really never about reaching the end of the road at all, but about all the moments that got you here. So, if you were in their position, would you let the moment define you? Or will you define the moment?
Welcome back to E3, everybody. I told you not to go anywhere. You didn't, right? You're still here. Good, because we're talking now about Madden 19. I'm back with Kira, and we've got Carlos between us now. Carlos, I love to see your face. I'm so happy that you're
Good
here.
to see you again.
It's a joy. You're on Madden now, and you're doing
I
some
am.
really cool things over there. So give us a quick top down on Madden 19, the new stuff you're bringing to the table. Then we're going to deep dive.
Sure. We've got a very balanced game this year, so we're doing something for every mode. I think that's one of the important things. People play Madden different ways. So we'll start off with just the foundational layer. You know, real player motion is something that we've invested heavily in. It is basically giving more control to players as they play with a bunch of new mechanics. We've also added signature celebrations. So now when I score a touchdown, I can spike the ball, I can do a group celebration, or I can do an individual celebration. It kind of adds that extra
Is that a preset?
flavor.
Or can I like do a little dance and then it goes in?
It's a preset. It's a preset.
Cool, that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So that's really cool. I think people are going to like that. We've got animation authentic signatures for our players too. So quarterbacks like a Drew Brees will lick his fingers like he does. You know, we're trying to get that feeling of authenticity that players want. So that's huge. And then in franchise mode, we've got one of the #1 requested features our fans asked for, which was custom draft class. So being able to choose how you make your draft class and then share it. So I can't wait to see what people decide to do. It's going to be really cool. And then the player archetype system. So another way for you to customize your players and make meaningful choices, I think, is important. And that's a big feature there as well. And then in Ultimate Team, we've got squads versus CPU. So now I can play up with my buddies and play against the computer.
Do a little training before you get out there.
Well, not everybody wants to play head-to-head, right? So just go and do a campaign. And then finally, Longshot 2 is back. So Devin and Colt, you know, Devin's going to continue his way through the NFL, trying to get on a team, and then Colt's going to try to figure out what he wants to do with his life.
And this is not the end of their stories. This is just a step on the journey.
This is, you know, it's
Is
going,
it
it's
the
moving.
end?
That's not the end.
I'm not ready to
It's
say
moving
goodbye.
through. The really cool part about it is, at the end of this specific story, I can take Devin into CFM or franchise mode and continue on his journey. So I can decide, hey, I want to go and make him a Hall of Famer, or I can take Colt into Ultimate Team and then have him work through winning the state championship.
Can you give us some specifics about how you've retooled the progression system in franchise mode?
Yeah, so the player archetypes is what we call it, right? And it's about making very meaningful choices. Take, for example, a running back, right? I have an elusive back, I have a power back, and I can decide, hey, I want to make him elusive and I want to make him faster, or I want to make him more powerful, like a in between the holes hitter. You can't have both. Right, and that's where the choice comes in, right? You can really specialize in a thing, but you can't have everything. I know everybody wants to.
No, I mean, we're familiar with skill trees,
Yeah, you know,
okay?
it's skill trees. We've all gone down that progression, right? And sometimes, you know, in skill trees, you're going down, adding different points, and it's like everybody has the same build, basically. But with the archetype system, is not everybody will have that.
Well, it's an incredible, resource and answer to questions that the community have been asking. You have all these, hardcore fans of the game. They play this every day. They care so much about the outcomes and the work that they put in. What is your interaction like with them, working with the community to provide them what they're asking for?
Yeah, so we listen to our community. We have a lot of feedback that comes through. We also have a Game Changer program where, a lot of the influencers in our community are brought in. We talk to them about all of the features. We talk to them about, each mechanic that we put in. And it's all about playing too. Once the game goes out, You know, we take the feedback in and we figure out, you know, what we need to tune in order to make the experience better.
You're bringing it back to PC after, is it 10 years?
10 years.
10 years?
Yes.
What is the thought that?
Well, I think it's timing. You know, the PC market is massive, right? And I love PC as well. So I think that, you know, being able to give that opportunity for people to play on PC, you know, keyboard and mouse support is going to be there, as well as, you know, being able to plug in a controller and play. We're able to do some really cool stuff with Frostbite and take advantage of the PC. Yeah. So ultra settings, you know, you can play on a 21:9 monitor.
Very
you know,
nice.
It's beautiful. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's fantastic. It's amazing.
Well, with the real player motion that you've added, I'm going to be keeping a close eye on that.
I want you to play. You know, I want to hear from you too. You got to tell me how it is.
You got to let me know. I'll train up a little bit. We'll go.
Set up that draft class.
Set up that draft class and go.
I do. We're actually over time now, so I want to hit you real fast with the Origin Access and how that ties into PC.
All right, sure. It's perfect. It's perfect timing. Timing is great. Origin Access Premier is our subscription service, and Madden will be on it on PC. So we're super excited, and I can't wait to hear what people think.
Oh, Carlos, that's great news. If you're a Madden fan, you know where to find information. If you don't, Google Madden. That's going to be pretty easy. But Madden.com, this wonderful Carlos here has brought you such good information, and now we will release you back into the wilds of E3. But the rest of you, stay in your seats. We've got so many more games to cover.
Thank you.
Give it to me like you say you do, 'cause it's warm enough for you.
Incendiary out.
Did I seriously get that dude in smoke?
Yo.
Oh my.
Game, record, and stream without compromise. Only on Intel Core i7.
Hi, I'm Skylius, and I'm a science communicator here on Twitch.tv. I am so excited to be a part of the Doctor Who marathon that will be airing over the next few weeks. A lot of these topics come up in my own stream because we talk about astronomy, astrophysics, yes, even time travel. If you could travel in time, where would you go? There's so many wheres and whens. If you like these kind of topics, make sure to follow my stream. I look forward to seeing you in the future.
welcome back. E3 on Twitch, and today we have Evan and Okadrian here joining me today. You're talking about Sonic Team Racing.
Great to be here, guys, and showcase Team Sonic Racing.
Yeah. So on that note, the word team is very important.
It is.
Can you hit on that and explain to us why is it so important?
Sure. So the team mechanic is a very kind of core component of Team Sonic Racing. You're going to be racing with two other partners on your group. Whether on Team Sonic, if you choose Sonic, you'll have Tails and Knuckles driving alongside of you. Throughout the game, you'll be able to help each other through various mechanics like skim boosting or slingshotting. Additionally, you're able to transfer items between each other to kind of give a little pick-me-up to maybe one of your teammates is performing a little less than anticipated. Not everyone's a drifting champion.
Don't want to call them out,
So you're able to transfer wisps between your teammates and stuff like that to cross the finish line together and hopefully hoist the cup. So doing all those different kind of gameplay mechanics also kind of boost your team ultimate meter. Then you can unleash your team ultimate for a big speed boost that will help propel you at a key part of the track. If you all use your ultimate together, it will go a little longer. Your team ultimate as well can knock out other drivers and give you a little extra boost in terms of the overall length of the ultimate. And so if all three of you activate it at the same time, then you get a little extra. If you activate it on your own, you're not rewarded as much as really working as a team. And then finally on that team mechanics side, kind of the overall winning team of the race is determined by the entire team standing, not just one racer's standing.
Okay.
So you're really kind of motivated to work together and get those spots on the rankings.
Excellent. This is all about the team. I mean, that's what it's all
That
about.
sounds so familiar in team games, finishing in the first place and the team still loses.
There you go. Exactly. If you finish first in the race and your team is 11th and 12th, I mean, chances are if your opponents finish 2, 3, 4. They're going to be the ones hoisting the cup at the end. I mean, everything kind of ladders back to that team mechanic and really kind of promotes that team gameplay.
And what I'm looking at here is drifting. That looks, I mean, whoever's playing this game in the back, they are absolutely drifting, like 90% of this map. Do you get a bonus from drifting? It's like speed boost or?
Yeah, so through drifting, there's three types of characters. There's speed characters, there's power characters, and technique characters. As you see with Sonic playing right now, Sonic actually receives a little bit extra of a bonus being a speed type character through drifting, where he'll get a little extra little burst to kind of help shoot through the pack as we just saw right now.
Well, this is a Sonic game, so how much are we going to see of the Sonic cast in here? Familiar characters across the entire franchise from Sonic 1 and 4, Sonic Adventure? Or...
Yeah, you're going to see a number of beloved characters in the the Sonic kind of universe and everything like that. So far we've revealed Team Sonic and Team Dark. So Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails are playable characters along with Rouge.
You did say reveal, which means
they are out. They are publicly playable down at the E3, for the next several days.
There we go.
But are there more we haven't heard about yet?
There are additional characters that are going to be announced as we continue
Announced.
through.
He's not going to tell us.
Yes. Are they unlockable?
Right now, there is customization options that will be available in the game. You'll be able to kind of tweak your vehicle as kind of you see fit. To kind of boost certain stats and really make it unique to kind of your kind of play style. So all those are unlockable through playing the game and continuing on throughout your adventure.
Now, Evan, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not the best at these race games. I like to tend to say that I am, but I always have excuses. I hit walls, I slow down, I stop, I fall off the map. What kind of catch-up mechanics do we have to make the person feel like they're not just stuck in last place all the time?
Sure. So, with the game and having, you're going to have two allies with you on the track, when you're playing with some friends or you're playing online and matched with some, people to race with and stuff like that. So skim boosting, falling in their slipstream and stuff like that. One of the things I like to do if I'm, higher up in the, position, whether I'm, first, second, third, and I see that some of my partners are struggling a little more, you know, I'll offer up almost every single item that I get just to help get them back in the game.
You're a good team player, man.
In addition, by transferring items, it's the only way that you're able to get kind of a 3x item. So whether it's 3 rockets or 3, you know, boost wisps, you know. So it really kind of benefits you by offering those up to your teammates, you know, so that you're not just playing greedy and finishing, you know, 2 minutes before your partners.
How much of a danger element is there between the different maps that you're playing in? How many hazards are you going to see?
You know, I mean, there's going to be another number of, you know, environmental challenges that take place. As we see right now with Rouge, she is a technique-based character. And so technique-based characters are actually able to avoid some of the hazards or you know, access, you know, certain areas or take tighter turns. For example, on Wisp Circuit, as we're seeing here, Rouge is actually able to drift across or drive across, you know, the grass without really suffering
right there, yeah.
a speed down for a limited amount of time. So that's going to allow her to take tighter turns and not, you know, be penalized as harshly as a speed or a power character that might go, you know, across the grass on accident or on purpose.
Excellent. Now, it would not be a Sonic game without rings. Can you explain what the rings are there for? And
You know, just, you know, collect them all. I mean, you know, nothing wrong with that. And you know, we'll just help your overall score at the end.
Okay. So you mentioned customization and stuff. How is that through unlocks?
Yep. So the customization through playing the game, you'll be able to unlock various you know, options for your different characters and your different vehicles. Like I said, to be able to kind of min-max the you know, your character and based on your playstyle. You know, if you really like, you know, having a little extra handling and stuff like that, you know, you'll probably be able to do that.
What game modes do you currently have planned for the release of the game?
You know, there's going to be a local 4-player split screen. So that's coming back and everything like that. So you'll be able to play with you know, 1 to 4 players. You know, local LAN.
Old school.
Or you know, you can do that online as well, and up to 12 players online. There's going to be, you know, kind of a single-player adventure mode. You know, time trials and stuff like that.
Nice. Is there a story with the adventure mode? Or?
Yep. So you know, very very kind of, you know, general story that you know will kind of you know, explain, you know, everything and kind of give that little teaser on why the fastest hedgehog alive is driving a car as opposed to running across the finish line.
Well, he is getting old.
He is good. You know, he also, you know, needs to put himself at a disadvantage. I mean, it wouldn't be fair if he was, you know, running and people were, you know, just driving a car.
That's
he's
true.
too good.
He can just get out the car and just be like, you know what? I'm tired of losing. I'm
tired of this.
He needs to handicap himself. You know, it would be like, you know, LeBron James playing against, you know, high schoolers. I mean, that's not really that fair.
Playing against the Warriors, getting swept in 4 games.
Oh my goodness.
He did his best.
He really did. Speaking of, you know, LeBron James, in this game, I like high-quality King-like music. We're gonna have the old-school soundtracks there.
As you saw in our E3 reveal trailer, is Crush 40 is back, and you know, so Sonic fans, you know, stay tuned, and some beloved music that you know, we know that you've grown accustomed to will be there in Team Sonic Racing.
Sounds good. So Evan, for the fans at home, where can we find more information on this? When can they get it? If you can say.
Sonic's gonna be available this winter. Team Sonic Racing will be available this winter, so looking forward to that. It's available on all major platforms, so Nintendo Switch, PS4, Xbox One, as well as on Steam for PC. And, you know, going on to SonicTheHedgehog.com if you want to pre-order or have any extra questions.
SonicTheHedgehog.com.
There you go, guys. You got the deets. Stay tuned. We have more content coming right up. You don't want to go anywhere.
I'm Matt.
I'm Emma.
And we're hosts at Hyper RPG.
And today we're going to talk to you guys about our love of all things
Things Doctor Who.
He's always standing up for people who may not be able to stand up for themselves.
My favorite episode is probably The Girl Who Waited. Be sure to come on over and check out Hyper RPG. We stream all kinds of nerdy sci-fi related content all week long, and we'd love to see you guys over there in the chat.
It's gonna be real wibbly wobbly.
Jurassic World Evolution. And it's out now on PC, PS4, and Xbox One.